Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah. County. You already know. Shouts out to the Guillotine team. Hey, you over there, shut the fuck up and listen. Look, please don't talk to us. This is off the cuff, we off-white like a lemonade and swastikas. Hey homie, I let the thing talk like a parakeet. Paraheat, the way I bully beats gets embarrassing. Came up, we used to chip 5 and a L. I know the rules of the game is surviving a hell. You know that it's rare, I know that you care. Check the faces, one bar give you a shot, blood can chase it. It's me and E, with some vehement knees. Women that I'm sure gon' make us weak in the knees. It's return of the gap, not return of the whack. Negative energy, we are not returning it back. You thought I knifed up a candle, how I'm murdering wax. Compare me to who? Nobody ever heard of they tracks. Need big digits, sick with it, you know who the man. Every rapper that you know, I done made him a fan. I let the tables rotate like the blades on a fan. Know what we bout, action like charades with the fam. We not impressed, they heard no stress and tried to take it. Waiting on the time to talk back to basics. Acid, no laces, destiny, we can taste it. Foreign money, I need banks for translation. Competitors, out the regular, I'm ahead of ya. Everybody rapping is cool, I'm just better, bruh. It be the R like the 18th letter was. The foundation too strong, you can't level us. How long you been down? You gotta level up. It's my day like the dude from Bulgaria. A new day, keep boxes of O's, X's for hoes. I pointed out the routes on the roads. Rest in peace to the family. Nigga, count me. You know?
I've been an affiliate, too lyrical, magnificent. My brain never been impotent. Annihilate competition quick, deadly with that penmanship. Right bars with ice picks, got a vice grip on a nice chick with nice lips. I like it. Pop my feet till it breaks the ground, equivalent to an earthquake sound. Grab your collar then shake it down, leave you at the lost pound. Ground and pound your face mush. People with talent need a push. Now they gangsta or a wuss. Plus I thank them for the push. This beat makes me lose my mind. Grab your neck and rip your spine. Break that hammer Valentine. Gonna need some turpentine to heal up your bruises cuts. Right? Every day I'm losing fucks. Sorry about your damn luck. Drink that please, that's in my cup. I've been told you you're a waste. All you is a waste space. Get your hands up out my face before I have to catch a case. Drag your carcass on the floor so your flesh get ripped apart. Savage style you can't ignore. I already ate but feed me more. Fuck them, create my own trends. I don't have friends. I'm a monster among men. Fuck them, create my own trends. I don't have friends, I'm a monster among men. Fuck them, create my own trends. I don't have friends, I'm a monster among men. I bet you think you're gonna get away. Better hope and pray for a better day. You all my prey, but it's elevate. Just another fatality. So bring down, we'll keep the crown. I'm aggressive with my style. Fuck that bitch, then smack a child. Monsters don't have time for clowns. In the darkness like a shroud. Locked on target, then I pound. Snatch you up, did it make a sound? Got you stressed, you lost some pounds. I'm a super heavyweight. Put you on my dinner plate. Collect the skulls, dig my safe. My brain is in outer space. I like space, but not the rappers. Fight for with that shit, you bastard. Got you baptized like a pastor. Can create another disaster. Let me loose, I'll break the chain. Shoot one glass, don't feel the pain. All these motherfuckers sound the same. Caught my path, don't make a lane. Can't be same, won't never change. Mix my strength for Hulk pain. Hang you from a window pane. Scary like the Mandalay. Then silver back is on the beat. I will walk, nigga, fuck the peace. Make sure opposition is deceived. All they do is call police. Now his mama wanna cry. Still tears flowing from my eyes. Probably gonna testify. Split your body like a pie. Fuck them, create my own trends. I don't have friends, I'm a monster among men. Fuck them, create my own trends. I don't have friends, I'm a monster among men. Fuck them, create my own trends. I don't have friends, I'm a monster among men. I bet you think you're gonna get away. Better hope and pray for a better day. You all my prey, niggas elevate. Just another fatality. Fuck them, create my own trends. I don't have friends, I'm a monster among men. Fuck them, create my own trends. I don't have friends, I'm a monster among men. Fuck them, create my own trends. I don't have friends, I'm a monster among men. I bet you two gonna get away. Better hope and pray for a better day. You on my brain, maybe elevate. Just another fatality.
In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb. Too much to be done on this mic that I ain't doing ready. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb. I represent the underdog. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. New York City getting hectic. People need direction. Rapping ass niggas be slipping in club perfection. But man, a lot of niggas getting lined on that top block. Creeping in that lack, got more sex than I. On the grind, rocking the shine, letting that knob pop. When niggas was getting cut in they face over time clock. Claiming you be moving them birds. We know you lie a lot, you fickle. You couldn't hustle a nickel out of dime spot. Acting like you fly, stop. I'ma tell you like they told Joe Pesci. Go get your motherfucking shine box. Squeeze if y'all leave. I don't think what y'all think. Make my bed in the style. I sleep in y'all streets. I'm a certified wolf, so I'm eating y'all sheep. Y'all pee all in my cup. I don't drink what y'all drink. Some fake Gucci shoes looking cheap on y'all feet. While my feet stay grounded, I keep it concrete. In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Pipe bomb. Use a bird. I put hands and feet on y'all beat. Set fire to your ass like heated car seats. If we have some words and I blow these off, that mean I bust my own gun and I don't need yours. If K give me the 9 and I go squeeze off, that mean I had K9 like a police dog. I paid for my whip, clown, go leash yours. Frontin' hard when he know he's soft. I got so much metal on me, you big pussy. When I walk past the refrigerator, all of the magnets stick to me. I live to see 100 years old like George Burns. I'ma teach the next generation, they gon' learn. In science class, they only tell us the world turns. The ozone layer is shot, the world burns. By that time, I'ma have my own law firm. Cause legal aid digging up dirt, they all worms. Shut down the jails from Clinton to Auburn. Flood the drugstores with cures, no more germs. Every young man to be rich, we all earn. Little girls with long hair, no more perms. You don't need implants to get your body all stern. If you just eat right, your ass will be more firm. It's no tomorrow, though I hollow all the haters know the motto. Cop a mother load of bottles, tell her way to hold a sparkle. Beef let her open, shotgo, cut you with a broken bottle. I serve my beef with shells like a fucking taco. Never need dough to borrow, I don't even know the vowels. I-O-U, shitting around like cold and power. Got a hurt, broken, shallow heart, so you
What it do, y'all? It's your boy King, Eric the Great. And you know I tune in at a special edition of Off the Cuff Radio. I got my man T-Max in the building.
Aye.
And we doing this show on a Sunday courtesy of Da Vinci Clothing. And this is a special show, y'all, because we have a legend in the building right now.
Yes,
Former WCW Tag Team Champion. Prominent figure on one of the greatest tag teams to have ever graced the square circle. We got my man Stevie Ray in the building, y'all. You there, brother?
Legend. What's going on, bro? Good, man. Good. Just hanging, man. Making my lunch.
Gotta give it. Before we get this thing started, we gotta give you that round of ovation, brother.
It's all good. I like that.
That's respect right there. And we got our Illa the Sandman. He's here with us.
Yeah. Who was that?
Our co-host.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, man, we got the legendary Stevie Ray in the building, man.
Hey, Stevie Ray, what's going on?
Guys? What's going on, man? Same old, man. Just hanging here on a Sunday afternoon, man. Getting ready to putting a bunch of things together because I got to do my own show tonight. So, everything's looking good.
We appreciate you being here, man. Definitely.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Ray, in terms of your credentials, your accolades, to say they're impressive are just the least of it. You have some real achievements. You have World Championship Wrestling for WCW World Television Champ, as well as being part of the World Tag Team Championship, and especially going into pro.
For those out there that has been living underneath the rock, like how much times you and your brother won that title?
Well, we won the WCW titles 10 times, but we pretty much won titles everywhere we went, man. So
So altogether,
that was a glorious.
Like altogether, how much was it? It was like in the 20, like in the 20s.
I don't even know. I don't even keep up with that kind of stuff, man. To be honest, I didn't even know we had won. Excuse me?
No, I'm saying because it's like you guys was always, in the title picture. Either you guys was like number one contenders, or you guys was defending the titles.
Yeah, like I said, I don't even keep up with that. I didn't even know we had won it like 8 times until somebody came up and told me, and I'm like, really? Oh, okay. Man, when I, it was always, that was just like from the time we became a tag team. We was that kind of team that people like to see being champions. So being a champion tag team was like, from the time we got to a certain level, it was always that way. So it was just like, just a part of their business to me,
Definitely.
People actually like to see you, and that means you're doing something pretty good. If the people that run organizations want to put belts on you, that means you're pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely in terms of your popularity, you and your brother. I'm looking at these stats here. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, you and I, y'all in 1995 and 96, were Pro Tag Team of the Year. You're ranked
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you're ranked number 67. Look, you're ranked number 67 of the 500 best singles wrestlers in 1996. You were ranked 248 of the 500 best singles in the 2003, and 62 of the 100 best tag teams. These stats are unbelievable in terms of the accolades, and achievements that you have achieved both as a singles wrestler and a tag team partner. I guess we're going to go back to the genesis of it. How did it all start for y'all in terms of deciding this is what you wanted to do for a career? And did you know that this was going to take you? Go ahead.
Actually, you know, professional wrestling is something we have always been fans of since, you know, just kids. But we never, you know, thought about becoming professional wrestlers, you know what I'm saying? I was already in a pretty good position before I ever, you know, tried wrestling out. I already had my own company and was doing pretty good, things of that nature. So wrestling was something I always wanted to try. You know, when a guy opened a wrestling school here, Ivan Putski opened a wrestling school here in town, and he actually worked out at the same gym that we worked out at. So he was like, "Hey, man, I'm opening a wrestling school, man. I'm going to be looking for students." And it was like, okay, I gave it a little thought, and then I told my brother about it. And I was like, hey, it might be a good idea to go try it out. Got nothing to lose. So, you know, we scraped the money together and went and tried it out, you know, by us already being pretty good athletes, and we're pretty good, you know, students of the game from behind, not as far as behind the scenes, as you know, everything that goes on in wrestling, but just looking at it on television and kind of, you know, studying what they do, then trying to implement it as a student. So it was like, and we had a good teacher, Scott Casey, who was like one of the best wrestling teachers, you know, I think, of that era, which was
and definitely, and I think a lot of people, and you know, while this show is primarily hip hop orientated, there are so many parallels in terms of your profession in hip hop, because you know, in terms of being a rapper, being a performer in general, you have to hone your craft, you have to understand the nuances. It takes a lot of work to get there, you know, and there's still a chance that, you know, and this is of course not in, you know, you and your brother's case because y'all were highly successful, but it's the fact of making sure that you can actually develop that charismatic aura that has that star status that can ultimately propel you in that level of celebrity. You know, I mean, you know, just like you see a lot of rappers. Oh, go ahead.
Well, with all due respect, I wouldn't relay it to hip hop. I would pretty much, you know, in that sense, only because maybe us being African American. But what I was related to, and this is what I tell a lot of people when I speak, it's the entertainment business, period. The entertainment business doesn't start and stop with professional wrestling. The entertainment business doesn't start and stop with hip hop. The entertainment business is the entertainment business, and it's a whole spectrum that goes full circle. A lot of a lot of the parallels interchange. You know.
Yes, sir.
And you can, but at the end of the day, you're trying to sell a product to people.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, you're trying to make someone spend their money on an entertainment basis. So in that aspect, I wouldn't put it toward hip hop and stop right there. I would put it toward the entertainment business.
I would say it does go hand in hand, though, Stevie Ray. I'll disagree because just like what you said.
I'm not saying. Hold on a second. I'm not saying it doesn't go hand in hand.
Okay.
What I'm saying is the hip hop business started in the 70s. The hip hop music.
Yes, sir.
It came to the forefront.
Yes, sir.
Entertainment has been around for 1,000 years.
Yes, it has.
Caesar, you know, in the auditorium.
The gladiators.
They put the men against the tigers.
Yeah.
That's entertainment.
Yeah, the Roman gladiators.
With the gladiators,
Right. So what I'm saying is, when you put it in that perspective, you're limiting what you're doing. Or you're limiting what's been going on for 1,000 years, 2,000 years.
Yes, sir.
You just have little pieces of entertainment that branches off. But at the end of the day, they come from somewhere.
Yes, they do.
So when I say, well, that's
Let's
why I
touch
say
on this.
you can't put it in. You can't just put it in a box because the hip hop, you know, you can't put it in a box because it's bigger than that.
Right.
The entertainment business goes every professional wrestling. I tell this to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little portion of every single solitary type of entertainment that you look at on a daily basis.
Right.
I agree.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Because
I agree
on that.
Because if you look at what professional wrestling provides over, you know, a collection of years, so many different forms of entertainment has taken that and applied it to their type of entertainment.
Yes, sir.
If
and
you see what I'm saying? No.
Yeah,
football. If you look at how they promote football today, baseball today, basketball, what do? They get into storylines and how somebody's got a beef with somebody else. Hip hop, same thing. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Movie actors, same thing, right?
Right.
Any form.
Definitely.
I mean, you know, Taylor Swift got a problem with so and so. You see what I'm saying? Tupac got a problem with Biggie. Tupac got a problem with Biggie. Jeff Gordon got a problem with Dale Earnhardt.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Being able
and you
to
take
tell
those narratives and people gravitate to them.
Right.
People gravitate to them. They want to see what they're doing. And all of that came from professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I agree.
Whether you know it or not.
I agree.
How many people got a grand interest now with music behind it? Where did that come from?
It happens a lot now. Especially nowadays, it does happen a lot. A lot of people take that formula.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I'm not trying to put any formula.
No, not at all.
Down.
Not at all.
What I'm saying is there is a correlation with hip hop, but you can't stop there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Right.
You know, it's a correlation with so many different kinds of entertainment because we got to dance, sing, act, athletics, dunk a basketball, make a touchdown, all in the same thing, all in the same night.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying? And be a stage performer, all in the same night.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, Stevie Ray. Let's touch on this real quick. You know, let's switch up gears real quick. You know, the name Harlem Heat. You know, like I ain't gonna lie, like the first time, you know, when I figured out you guys really wasn't from Harlem, I was upset. I'm thinking that all these years, like, oh man, these dudes are from Harlem, you know. Like as a kid, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I marked out for that, you know, because me being from New York and stuff, and, you know. But it's just that y'all sold it so well, you know. And well, how did y'all come about that name, Harlem Heat? Like, how did that happen?
Actually, you know, when it's the entertainment business,
right?
And in the entertainment business, you have to do something to try to make yourself stand out,
right?
You know.
Definitely, you definitely did, because you guys is like two big dudes spin kicking, you know, doing all types of spin kicks and axe kicks, and you dudes definitely stood out, you know.
That was very intimidating.
That's why everybody in hip hop never says who their real name is, because if I'm just Larry Gordon, that's nothing.
Right.
But if I'm Big Pun, that's something.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, who came up with the name for you guys? Did you guys come up with the name?
Being from a regular town in the entertainment business is nothing. He's from Sioux City, Iowa. Really? Who cares?
But definitely.
So, in essence, Dusty Rhodes wanted to call us Chicago Heat. Why? I don't know. Big city, whatever. And you know, we always said that we were from 110th Street in Harlem. And where we got that from was a movie. One of the old
I remember the old school, the Harlem Heat. Yeah, I remember that movie.
exploitation movies back in the day. I don't even know who was in the movie, but the movie was
From
called Across
Harlem.
110th Street. You see
Yeah, I remember that one.
The movie was called From Across 110th Street, and Bobby Womack sung the song.
Okay.
So that's where that came from.
Interesting.
Matter of fact, they played the song. In the movie that Denzel Washington did when he was
American Gangster.
And you remember they played that song in the movie.
Yeah, because of the Nicky Barnes character being from Harlem. So
right.
So it fit.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where all that came from. Actually, we said no. We would like to be Harlem Heat, and some other guys said, well, why can't you just be Houston Heat? Because we from across 110th Street, and if anybody knows anything about New York, they know what that means. Once you cross 110th Street, brother, you in it.
You in Harlem.
You in it. So we wasn't trying to talk to the masses. We were trying to talk to our people, that they didn't get.
Definitely.
But if you're African American and you're from a certain generation, you would have got it.
Right.
You heard it here, folks. This how Harlem Heat. This how the name got discovered. You heard it here from the legendary Stevie Ray.
We never
I remember too.
From 110th Street, we said we was from across 110th Street.
Right. And and definitely.
I remember too.
Oh.
I didn't mean to cut you off, T-Max, but.
Oh no, go ahead.
I remember too. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut y'all off, but I remember when y'all debuted in WCW and they gave y'all the names like I think it was Cole and Kane.
Yeah.
Well, that was because the organization that we was coming from was, I don't know, they tried to put some kind of legality thing as far as Stevie Ray and Booker T. So they were going through that, and before they could get that
trademark
whatever the situation may have been, I don't know if anyone was trying to trademark it or anything like that, because then again, it's just because we was coming from Global, that was on ESPN, and I think the guys that had just bought Global was trying to, stick somebody up, because they didn't own the name anyway. We came up with the name, and it was never trademarked because we never had a contract with them. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
We never had a written contract with Global, so they didn't own anything. But by the fact that's Turner Broadcasting, they had to make sure legal had everything, all, things dotted and crossed. So by the time they got that figured out, we were already on television, so they couldn't change it like that. You see what I'm saying? Change it back. So we just went with that for, I don't know, about a year, and then we went back to Stevie and Booker.
Right. And a lot of times, too, that's a very understated element of business, because Vince McMahon was the first to coin the term sports entertainment, which is what wrestling is.
Right.
But also in terms of the business aspects, when you're looking at trademarking your product in terms of the names, and obviously I'm not a lawyer, I can just actuate it from just from common sense.
Yeah.
And usually, when you come into the business, that's what when they settle into it, that's how y'all are going to be known. So they have to make sure the paperwork is in order in terms of these are, our athletes, this is their names, and, this is what they wrestle under this company as, and we have trademarked this, to make sure nobody can make money off of it.
It used to didn't be like that.
Okay.
But once things became sports entertainment, whereas, see, like if a person come into a territory with their own gimmick, that's their gimmick. It's not your gimmick.
Right.
You can't take it away from them whether or not they got it trademarked or not.
Right.
But nowadays, if you notice how things are done nowadays, they take you and make you into a character. So as long as you're working here, you're that character. As soon as you leave, you're not that character anymore.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of because certain people out there, basically starting their own characters and likenesses.
Right.
Right. I mean,
and that's what it boils
we talk
down
about
to,
that certain person a lot. We all know who that is. We talk about that person a lot.
Yeah.
Say what?
But it's fun.
So it's changed a lot now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So let me ask you another thing though. When you guys finally had got the WCW had the big show on their first Monday Nitro up in the mall. What mall was that again? I forgot.
The Mall of America.
Yeah. There you go.
In Minneapolis.
Talk to me about the, like how the locker room was buzzing, around that time, because
with all due respect, I can't remember. One show is just like another show to me. I'll be honest with you, I don't really give two shits about the locker room. I just go to work.
Damn.
I
mean, I'm sorry. A lot of other people might come in and say this, that, and the other. That's just how they are. But I've never taken wrestling no more than a job to me. So I can't even remember how the dressing room was. I can barely remember the show. If you hadn't brought it up, I would never remember it. But
we here to remind you. That's what we're here for.
When you do what we did for so long in so many different places, just show me the locker room. Because either I'm coming in to read a book or I'm coming in to go to sleep. If I got something to do behind the scenes, that I need to put my gear on and go do some interviews and stuff like that, tell me what time they're going to be calling for me and I'll be ready to go. And that's what you do. It's like I said, being an actor or being a stage play or something like that, And you get your orders and you go out and do what you're supposed to do. And go on to the next town.
Do you remember this though? Like working with the late great sensational Sherry. God bless the dead.
Oh yeah. That was a nightly thing. You know what I'm saying? I
always had a crush on Sherry. I always had a crush on Sensei. Like everybody used to say, "Oh, she's Scary Sherry." I'm like, Scary Sherry. She is gorgeous.
And very nice too. I could tell she was one of the nicest out there.
Super nice, but she did her job, man. She did her job. I miss Sherry, man. She did her job.
Yeah, I know you do, man. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. She completed the package. Once we put that package together, and once we made it work, because we used to get with her and you know what I'm saying, we would go over everything we're going to do as a team, how we wanted her to act, how we wanted her to walk. And that's why we always call her sister. You know what I'm saying? This is not, sensational. This is not scary. She a sister now.
Sister
you know what
Sherry.
I'm saying? And a sister always got a brother back. You dig what I'm saying? And that's how it came off. And the people, they loved it, they hated us, but they loved it all at the same time, man. And it was money.
And it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
And, cause she would do anything. She would do anything if it kept us in the game or to keep us winning the titles or keeping the titles. She would put her life on the line, and that's what we wanted to make it look like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
hell yeah, because she was one of the best. She was better. She was one of the best heel managers out there. When it came to turning heel and doing best.
Female, she was the best ever. Female, she was the best ever. Because, oh my God, some of the stuff we used to look back, me and my brother would laugh. We would die laughing. And we all rode together and everything, too. You know what I'm saying? So it was always a constant conversation about what we could do to make things better. She always dressed. And notice, everything we wore, she wore, too.
Yeah.
Like coordination.
I don't know. A lot of people don't know. Huh?
Coordination. Y'all was coordinated.
If we came out with a certain color, she had on a certain color that was made for her in the dress, and it was like, this is a real team. This ain't no man. She never did say she was a manager. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. Another thing that we always told the announcer, don't ever call her a manager. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they would slip and do it because so many people No. This is 3. We would say we are 3 the hard way. We a team.
Right. You know,
we're a team. You fight one of us, you fight all 3 of us. It's just not in the contract. You see what I'm saying?
Right. What I liked about y'all style too is that y'all were just like very hard hitting and aggressive, because what y'all remind me of, y'all was like Doom without. Y'all was like Doom, but more athletic.
Yeah, more agile. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
You can see that. But what we were trying to bring was something. We were trying to bring a cohesiveness that people hadn't seen as far as tag team wrestling for big guys. We were trying to show a cohesiveness that we work together as a unit, and we don't do the same thing. We was like more of a Kobe Bryant.
How tall are you, though, Stevie? How tall are you, Stevie? Like, how tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
Beast.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what we were trying. We were trying to do like more point guard, small forward to a big man under the hoop, and we show how we work together. So, you know what I'm saying? We was trying to do, and like I said, we would watch other tag teams, and we would take a lot of shit from a lot of the other tag teams, not Doom or none of the, the Powers of Pain or Road Warriors and stuff like that. What we would do was watch the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, some of the best ever.
The Fabs, you know what I'm saying? We would watch those guys. You see what I'm saying? The Fabs.
Fabulous T-Birds, the T-Birds, Michael Hayes, Buddy Rogers, Terry Gordy.
We would watch. No, not those guys. These guys called the Fabulous ones.
Oh, the Fabulous ones, yes.
Yeah.
Stan Lane and Steve Kern.
Well, the Fabulous Freebirds?
Right.
Fabulous Freebirds, right.
And so we would take from those guys and try to implement it into what we do in an aggressive, urban nature. That's why it went over so good, and that's why people had never seen it. So everything we did, we sit down and talked about.
Definitely. Now,
most people just get together and they just do, what they see other people do or what somebody's telling them to do and stuff like that. Every night, man, we go back to the hotel and we would sit there and, we talk about, okay, that look good, this look good, okay, let's do it this way, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying, because that's more. We was trying to stay in an urban, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
More of a
what's the crazy thing
of what we do.
You know what's the crazy thing about you guys? Like, you guys still kept that same theme song for so many years. Like, to the point where even Booker, he still uses that theme song, It's like, did y'all ever, was it ever a time when you guys was like, don't we want to, remix this or switch up the music? Did it ever come to that time? Because you guys had the song for like forever.
Really and truly, that kind of stuff really has no bearing on what we're doing in the ring as far as the music goes. I think Jimmy Hart made that music. And
Jimmy Hart, a producer?
Get out of here.
Jimmy Hart produced most of the music on WCW back in the day. Jimmy Hart.
I did not know that.
Jimmy Hart's a real musician. And Jimmy Hart also, back in the 60s, Jimmy Hart was in a group called the Gentrys that had a hit record, like a top 10 record back in the late 60s. Jimmy's from that Memphis area. He's a real musician.
Only on Off the Cuff Radio. We always feature people.
Man,
and they would, they come up with a song. They came up with a song that matched us. That song could only be applied to us. We had really and truly, we could care less what song was playing when we came out, man. You know what I'm saying? But that one, when we heard that, we was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? That's a good song. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's catchy.
It went right along with the gimmick. You know what I'm saying? It went right along with the gimmick. So, and I think that song was made before we even got to WCW.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Huh?
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, Jimmy made a lot of songs, and they were going to put put them on certain characters, if you see what I'm saying.
Right.
And he made that. I think that one was made before we even showed up and go, hey, this will be a good one that I made. You know what I'm saying? He might have been thinking some hip-hop stuff that night. I don't know. You know?
Well, I mean, but you figure in the 80s, you know, when a lot of the interest themes before copyrights became a bitch to have on the songs,
right?
You had the actual songs from the artists, like with the Road Warriors, they would have Black Sabbath on Your Man.
Right.
You know, and but of course, with copyrights on the songs, that's where the stock music had to come in, because you also had guys like Rick Derringer who did the theme for Demolition. You know, I mean, the history you're giving us is unbelievable. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask this, because we gotta just, we know how some businesses can be for us. What was you and your brother's experience as African Americans in that business in terms of, just day to day?
And I've had this conversation with a lot of young guys that's coming up too. No different than any other business.
Gotcha.
What I try to tell people that, white people that are bigots, that are controlling, that want to control you, that want to use their, influence to enhance, themselves and keep you down. They're going to do that wherever they work.
Right.
In any business. That's just how they are. Unless it's a business unless we have control.
Right.
Whereas
and
you
also,
look at stuff like basketball and football. We have control. So you're not going to get the same backlash because they really need you, and you got strength in numbers.
Right.
As long as we never have strength in numbers, they're going to do a lot of things that they do. But the thing is, you got to be good enough to overcome it, and you have to have a mental aspect to overcome it. Because they're if you got something to offer, hey, go do your thing. But if you got something to offer, what I always saw, and what I live by in the locker room, and I live by today, I don't want to be me. I want to be me. Respect that.
Well, speaking of that, it's a perfect segue to this question I gotta ask you, and you already know what I gotta ask you. Yeah. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Well, a lot of people.
I had to do it. All right. The thing I wanted to ask you is it's just like you played it all so well. You didn't laugh or switch up your face, and then you just stayed in character because it just came out. Booker just said it out of. Go ahead.
Firstly, you only seen a clip. You didn't see the whole interview.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I did.
Most people only see the YouTube clip.
Right.
And it goes off before I even talk.
Gotcha.
So what you saw was a gaffe. What you saw was a gaffe of WCW being WCW. We had to do a live interview on a live show.
Right.
But in essence, we had already done the interview. We were getting ready to wrestle. Now I got to do a live interview, whereas you can mess up doing anything live.
Right.
That's why you take
it. Yeah, because Booker was definitely in the moment. He was feeling it. He was like, you both just revved up.
But what he was doing, you're thinking about two things at once.
Right. I mean, but look, that's called being in character.
And what he said wasn't, if you listen to the word, when he said the N-word, it didn't come out the way we say the N-word.
Right.
He was trying to stop. He was thinking about two different things to say, because they give you stuff to talk about, and we go, wow, we already done this. What are you doing? Well, they want you to do it again. And this time, Hulk Hogan's involved. Y'all need to talk about it. So within a few minutes, I got to take up an interview.
Right. You got to come up with it on the fly. Right. You got to do it on the fly.
Now, if you guys are proponents of hip-hop, how hard is that? I don't
it's very difficult.
I don't like what you just spit. I need you to change that verse right here, right now, because I only got 10 minutes left in the studio. What would you do?
That's difficult. That's not easy at all. No, it's not.
It's not easy at all. I mean, because, you know, when you're dealing with rapping, you know, writing, some people can change up. Some people, it's like when you're cutting a promo, and, you know, all of us have watched so many promos that were just total genius. I mean, but it's like, but when you're really trying to sell that and you're really trying to, you know, get that, you're trying to boost that, I mean, you know, you got to come up on the fly in terms of, like, you know, menacing, threatening, like, you know, we're going to beat your ass when we see you. And I mean, it's just, you just came out, it just came out how it came out. Right.
You know, that's a good thing.
Like I said,
guess it's a good thing.
His brain
go
is
ahead, Stevie. Go ahead, Stevie.
At the same time. Huh?
Right.
So, if we were taping it, like a real company of that level should have been doing, and leave nothing to chance, that shit would have never hit the air, ever. But because it was live and a pay-per-view, once the gap happened, and people ask me, "Hey, you didn't break stuff," I'm not listening to him. Because like I just gave you an example. If we are, let me give an example. Run DMC, and somebody just told Run DMC that's two guys that spit off each other. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I'm Run, you got to do your stuff over. Okay, I got to change my stuff too. I'm not listening to you. I'm just waiting for you to finish your lines.
Right.
Then I'm going to start mine. Or we'll do them at two totally different times, and they'll put it together in the studio. Right?
Exactly. Because when people have to understand. People got to understand and exactly what you're saying. When you are cutting a promo, it's like when you're doing an album. If you're in a group, everything has to flow in terms of the ad-libs, the composition, the words, and you play off of each other to make it a synchronization, you know, in terms of that flow with it. But, you know, you and your brother, I mean, y'all play so well off of each other.
You might come in at 2 o'clock and do yours, and I might come in at 5 o'clock and do mine. Then they put it all together.
Yeah, they put it all together,
I heard what you said.
Mm-hmm. It's like putting verses together.
Right. Because the magic happens after everything is over. So when people go, you didn't break, I ain't listening to him. I got my own interview to do.
Right.
I mean, I'm listening to him because I hear him, but I don't know what he's going to say because we haven't rehearsed it.
And you got to focus more on what you got to say.
We're just doing stuff off the top of our heads, you know, and trying to get it over with because 5 minutes later, I got to be in the ring.
Right.
If you see what I'm saying, this ain't at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Then you go cool down and whatever, you know, this, that, and the other. This is 5 minutes before we got to go in the ring.
He's like, y'all really gonna do that to us? That y'all have us cut a promo 5 minutes before we go in?
Exactly. Right. That's why Booker T was so mad.
I'm like, really?
Yeah. Right, but that's why people see it and they think, okay, that shit is cool. No, that shit is work. That just got fucked up. That's what that is.
Oh no, we like us as wrestling fans, we knew.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about through the years.
You're talking about WCW.
And people think, oh, that's some cool shit. No, it ain't cool, bro, because I'm a fucking professional.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a professional. I don't need to call Hulk Hogan a nigga to get over.
Like Belichick said, you're going to do your job.
You know what I'm saying? Because I do my job and I do it well. You know, I don't need Hulk Hogan to call him a nigga to get over at all.
Exactly.
I've been getting over all these years without doing it. I got to do it now. We ain't that cheap. It ain't even about that to us. You know,
it's like Cheap Heat, yeah.
Exactly. But what he was thinking at the time, that's something you have to ask him. But at the end of the day, I went straight into my interview. But like I said, you don't see that on a YouTube clip.
Yeah, they just show that one clip. And
I
me
went
and
straight
Gene
into what,
talking.
and I don't even remember. I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what the subject was. I don't remember. I remember that happening. How can you forget that? But I can't remember everything else that was happening around it.
Definitely.
Well, I gotta ask you another Harlem Heat question though. You already know I had to ask this too. How was it like working with Ahmed Johnson, aka what's his name? Big T. His name was Big T in WCW.
Oh man,
Fall River Powerhouse.
Ahmed. I just a couple of months ago I did I was doing my own show, Stand Up for Greatness, and we talked about a match that Ahmed and my brother had. And apparently it got back to him, and he took offense to it. In essence, we were just joking on the show I do. I do a lot of humor on my show. I turn a lot of stuff that's serious into humor. Like I told you before, professional wrestling was just a job to me.
Right.
A job that everybody see you doing. But the reason I put it in that aspect because I never wanted to bring it home with me. I wasn't Stevie Ray when I left the building. I'm not Stevie Ray anymore. Now, people might see me and go, hey, Stevie Ray, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Can I get an autograph? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. But at the end of the day, I never brought him home with me, bro. I was the same person that my buddies knew at home that I was before I ever seen a wrestling match. A wrestling ring.
And that's a blessing.
So, with that being said, a lot of people get entrenched into what this business has made them out to be.
Right. They can't separate the character from their real life.
Huh?
They can't separate the character from their real life.
Well, they love it because people love them. Frankly, I never cared about being. Frankly, I'm one of the people that really never cared about being loved that much. I really don't.
Right.
But that's me.
Right.
I'm just cut from a different cloth.
Yeah, different shows for different folks. It's just that once we see somebody, us like me as a wrestling fan, you see a wrestler as yourself put in so much work. It's legendary. Like, 'cause it's like I grew up watching your work, so that's why we have that type of. I'm not saying I know you. You're a grown man. You got a family. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I would never come up and say, hey, look, brother, I'm not working right now. Don't fuck with me. I would never do that. But if we're in a club, you know what I'm saying, I'm having a couple of drinks, and I'm looking at the honeys, I would want you to understand that, too.
Right. You want your
private
time.
I'm doing the same thing you doing right now. Dig it?
Right.
Go. I'm doing the same thing. That's what I'm talking about. Well, some people want to go out and be that guy, and people hang around them, and you're this, that, and the other. Man, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get mine. You go get yours.
Well, speaking of your show,
when it comes back to Ahmed, go ahead.
Yeah. Talk about that. Let's go back to the Ahmed Johnson situation. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, what I'm doing is setting that up. But anyway, we did a segment on my show about a match that he had for the rights to the Harlem Heat name. Him and my brother did a match, right? And and my co-host brought it up, and I actually hadn't really thought about it for years. But when I started thinking about it, oh man, it was just so funny. I couldn't stop laughing, right?
Yeah.
So, it was hilarious, man. But he threw my brother out the ring, and I told the story on my podcast. And I'm outside the ring, and my man is working inside the ring. I get my brother outside the ring, and I start choking him, right? And put a little heat on it because we was at each other. We was at odds then. And I'm choking my brother, right? And then my brother, this is outside the ring, and my brother go, man, this motherfucker done forgot everything.
Yeah, look, that character turned into real life.
Oh man, and I'm laughing, so I have to put my face real close to him so people don't see me laugh.
Funny though. That is funny.
Come on, but this is the thing. This is what you got to understand.
Right.
These are some of the things that happen in professional wrestling that nobody knows about. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just shared.
Well, people miss their spots.
But when you forget spots and stuff. A dog, I done did it. My brother done did it. Everybody, you ask any professional wrestler, they done did. That's some of the things that go on. That's why they call you a professional. You don't think a quarterback then came to the line of scrimmage and go, man, I forgot the snap count, and I'm the one that called it.
Nah, you can't look in wrestling. Look, you can't break K5A. You can't break K5A, but it happens.
It's not K5. It's kayfabe. It's
kayfabe. Thank you.
What I'm saying is this is stuff that one thing I'm saying is, to put it in context, these are things that happen on a nightly basis all over the country with different wrestlers throughout the years. So you're not exclusive because it happened to you. It's just the fact that it was funny that my brother would say that while I'm putting the heat on him and knowing I'm going to break out laughing. You know what I'm saying? So, in essence, I don't know if he was doing the real, he could have been doing the real on me. You know what I'm saying? Just to make me break character. I don't know. You know?
I'm telling you,
but we do
everybody
like
out
that.
there, y'all got to see that match. It's so funny because I remember that match like yesterday, and you notice when he missed that spot. It's just so funny, and then you explaining it, it makes it look so much more funnier. Man, that's the thing about pro wrestling, brother. That's why I'm telling you, I've never taken it that serious. It's a job. On any job, office job, mailman, guy that works the docks, y'all gonna have funny moments doing these jobs. That's just human nature, bro. It ain't nothing malicious behind it.
It just happened.
But he took it as if somebody was making fun of him. And he did an interview that he said he did that on purpose because he didn't want to give a bump to my brother because they were going to give him a push, which makes you look twice as bad because
I remember that.
You never messes with somebody else's push, bro. Your job is to go out there and get like 1, 2, 3. That's your job, bro.
Come on, Ahmed Johnson. You sounding like a hater right now, Ahmed Johnson. Like that's not a good look for you, brother.
No, a lot of people said that. A lot of people online were saying that, and I'm like, what the? After the match, me and Big Teddy that was out there with us at the time, we called him Big Cash back then. And there were 3 of us, and Teddy called me and he was like, man, I remember that, man. He said, man, you remember? After the match, we went back in the dressing room and how all of us laughed about it. I said, I remember that. So why would he take this that serious right now? We all laughed about it.
Right.
I mean,
that sounds a little shady, like it's like a type of person that laugh in your face and talk shit about you behind your back. That's a little shady right there.
When he said that he didn't want to give my brother a bump, that's like one of the most disrespectful things in the business, man, to admit that you did that in the middle of the ring to try to make someone look bad. We don't do that, bro. You know why? Because you got a family to feed, and so do I. I ain't going to fuck with your mom. Now, in the dressing room, I'll step to you, and I would like for you to step to me, too, if we got a problem. But in the ring, you don't do that, bro.
Exactly. Stevie Ray, by the way, Stevie Ray, you can curse, you know that, right? Like, because I hear you holding back on some. I'm saying you can curse. It's okay. Because I hear you holding back on some curses. If you feel like you want to curse, you can curse. It's off the cuff radio for a reason.
No. I have no problem with it. Just like I'm just trying to be professional.
Okay. I know you're trying to be a little cordial, but you don't have to.
Right.
Turn up.
I appreciate that.
Definitely. This is off the cuff radio.
But in that situation now, I hadn't.
But going back to your show though, Stevie Ray, I forgot the name of it actually. Can you remind people out there?
Stand up for greatness.
Stand up for greatness.
Stand up for greatness.
Stand Up for Greatness. Yeah. Make sure y'all check it out. You on iTunes and YouTube, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Make sure y'all check it out, man.
We release little clips on YouTube every now and then, whenever we can, from different stuff we got in the can, and I try to entice people to subscribe. And we had to go down at the end of the year for a while because of some legality reasons with the network.
Right.
And, but everything's been cleared up now because someone was saying that my boy had stole some content for him, so YouTube had to get to the bottom of it. So we had to shut things down for a minute. You know how they do.
There's always something with YouTube. Yeah, you already know. It's just a mess.
Right. But
so,
we got it cleared up now.
The last time, that's good. The last time I was actually watching your show, you had Vinny Rue on the show,
right,
or whatever. You guys had the back-to-back debate, which was a really good show. And this is around the time when somebody had told me about it. I was like, oh, I didn't even know Stevie Ray had his own podcast. And, it's basically, I didn't know you had a mouthpiece like that, Paul. Like how you was basically matching wits with this dude Vince Russo. And I'm like, okay, I like this.
You should have known from the WCW commentary days he had a mouthpiece.
Yeah,
he was always sharp.
A lot of people don't know, man. A lot of people don't know. That's actually what I went to school for.
Mass communication?
I know I like to speak the Ebonics and all that stuff because it's fun, man. That's just us as people. But, I actually, when I came out of high school, I wanted to work in radio and stuff like that. I used to DJ in clubs. Like I say, I remember, that's why I can speak on hip-hop, because I was one of the guys spinning records when all this stuff hit. You dig what I'm saying? When it all hit. I was one of the guys that was spinning records at that time.
Now,
in clubs.
All over Houston. And I think you now.
What was your DJ name? Hold on, T. I just have one thing. What was your name? What's your DJ name?
I didn't even have a DJ name.
DJ
I didn't have one.
Stevie Ray.
You talking about that? That's more the stuff in the Northeast and North. They got DJ names. Nobody had no DJ names in the South, bro. You kidding me?
Yeah, I never knew that.
Radio personality, but it was like, I'm the Night Eagle or something like that. All that stuff didn't hit down here till years later. It was popping off up there, and the reason I know that is because we used to go to the record pool, to listen to music. That's how they did back in the day. You go to the record pool, and you can just listen to music and see what's hot, and you take it to the club. You see what I'm saying? So what was happening down here, we was just getting a glimpse of it. But a person that's in the business, I was hearing a lot of it. If you dig what I'm saying, I was hearing a lot of it. But I didn't know it was going to jump off the way it did, though,
Right, but y'all being from Houston, too, I mean, y'all saw that whole situation blow up in terms of, with the ESG, DJ Screw, and also a guy by the name of Scarface.
Scarface. That's my boy, man. I remember, I remember meeting Scarface. Guess what, because, back in the day, when I'm wrestling, I ain't really have time to really, when I come home, I'm not one of them guys that like to go out and stuff like that. I really go out while I'm on the road. So when I get home, man, I was a straight up homebody. I didn't want to go nowhere, bro. But, and, the Ghetto Boys, because, a lot of my partners and stuff was into the hip-hop game, too. Still are to this day, a whole bunch of them. Matter of fact, my boy, Murder One, just had a party Friday night. He just had a party Friday night. Him and K Reno was the host. I don't know if you know them. They big down this area. Yeah, they're my boys, man. We all from the South Park.
Yeah, we had K Reno on the show.
He was up there last.
K Reno on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, we all from the same neighborhood, man.
Because
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're all from the same neighborhood. Matter of fact, they came in and did my radio show. I used to have a radio show up until, I don't know, like 3-4 months ago. I just got tired of it, and I wanted to just concentrate on the podcast, because the podcast can be, well, you know how they are. They can be kind of financially more, suitable than, radio show, doing it once a week. So I want to concentrate on it and make it better. So, but I had those guys in on my radio show. We had a real good show, man. Real good show.
That's tight, man.
Now, a question I wanted to shoot to you too, brother. Oh, yeah, what I want to shoot to you too, brother, was like after WCW went out and they got bought out and everybody had to go to the WWF for work and everything. And I was wondering like why you didn't come along with Book.
Well, first of all, I was basically tired of all the bullshit that goes on with WCW. I was glad the motherfuckers folded.
Oh Lord, he was like, good riddance.
Yeah, a lot of people said that.
I told guys 2 years before it happened it was going to happen.
Right.
They couldn't continue.
Yeah, a lot of people said that. A lot of people
really don't know what was going on behind the scenes and what was going on with that company, man.
There
was a lot of stuff going on that people just don't know.
Talk to us, like give us an example.
What you talk about is not confidential.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is like you can't keep companies afloat like that where people are taking liberties on someone else's money.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it. You know, somebody's got a lot of money and you're taking liberties with it, man. So when they consolidated with Time Warner,
right?
Okay, Time Warner is going to look at everything. They're going to audit everything,
right?
And they did, and that's what happened. People think Vince McMahon just came in there and bought the company. He didn't.
No, Time Warner decided that they didn't want to do it anymore.
Time Warner said, "Man, get these fucking thieves off my motherfucking books." That's what the fuck they did.
Yeah, they decided they didn't want it no more.
Yeah, it's like they gift wrap. It's like they gift wrap WCW for Vince. You know, it's like because they just didn't want nothing else. Like, and then AOL came in. You know, they didn't want nothing else to do with it no more.
Vince only bought the library, which is worth a lot of fucking money.
Yeah,
Time Warner could
man.
still be made. Time Warner could, if they were smart, they could, you know. And he bought the logo. That's it. What else do you have?
You got everything right there. You got the highlights of the past.
No. I'm saying after that, what else do you have? A building?
No networks,
nothing. A building that you can sell and make more money from it than it's actually bringing in? Really?
Exactly.
I can rent the space out and turn it into office spaces. You dig?
That's a cold game,
and make
man.
more money off it than what's going on in here. Huh?
That's cold game you were spitting about how business is conducted in terms of when people see that opportunity and they exploit it. You know,
now this wrestling crap, they didn't want to have nothing to do with it. So Vince came in and he bought the library, which is Time Warner was actually had put it up for bid. Who knows who would have bought it? You see what I'm saying? Who knows?
Right.
But he's made more money off the library than he spent it out.
Look, Vince's going to start up the XFL this year with his own money. So, I mean, in 2020, the XFL again, he's going to do it by himself.
You don't think some of that is... Exactly. There you go.
Yeah,
you don't think he done make money off of that, bro?
Yeah,
and that $9.99, station?
That network pitch?
The network?
Where you can go see all the matches and stuff for $9.99?
That WCW catalog keeping them eating.
Well, come on, bro. I think Vince paid $5 million for everything. You telling me a company that spends $500,000 a week doing 2 live shows and doing shows all over the world and got TV content all over the world is only worth $5 million?
That was pennies compared to what he was actually bringing. What he's actually
bringing. Man, look.
And they were
pennies.
And they was kicking ass on the Monday Night Wars, and it was like they had the WWE on the shelf almost. And he only got bought them for $2 billion. That's a cold game there.
At the end of the day,
they was beating them in the Raiders for like almost 2 years.
Right. But at the end of the day, hey, behind the scenes, there was a lot of things going on that people just didn't know about. And Time Warner didn't want to have nothing to do
that's what I'm saying. Like, talk to us. We want to hear a story because we know that you famous for your stories. Tell us like a story. You don't have to say no names if you don't want to. Tell us like a locker room story or something. Tell us a funny story about what happened. Like,
I mean, to be honest, I'm not one of those guys unless it's something that pops into my head, like I do on my show. A lot of stuff I don't even remember, and my co-host would bring up certain situations, and then I would remember them. Because really and truly, I could care less what those guys said to each other. And I'm the kind of person, better you than me.
Right.
And I know a lot of people look at me like that.
All right. Let me give you. Let me try to give you an idea. Okay, because I'm thinking of some tag teams that was around that time. All right. You ever hung out with let's see, like the Nancy Boys or something like that? Because I remember you guys had a rivalry with them once upon a time. Is it the time you ever hung out with the Nancy Boys?
Actually, me and Knobs rode together for a while. Me and Brian Knobs are very good friends. And Jerry Sack. Okay. Very good friends. We were always cool. Me and the Steiner brothers, we were always. I mean, if you want like a shoot interview, like people I had a problem with, I didn't fucking have no problem with nobody. A couple of times. Mm-hmm. Some stuff that's not even worth talking about, misunderstandings and stuff like that.
Well, who had a problem with you, though? You tall, diesel, black dude. Who's the one that really test you, though? Around that time,
first of all, most times when you have problems in the dressing room, it's people that's got overbearing egos.
Right.
And the egos spill over. I don't have an overbearing ego. I come to work and do my job, whether if I'm working in the post office or working, in the yard. Now, with that being said, as long as you conduct yourself in the ring, I'm cool.
Right.
Now, if I'm in the ring and somebody don't conduct themselves, that's a whole nother ball game, bro. The professional wrestling game, to me, it was never romper room. It was business. And the same way you attack any business, you have to attack that business the same way. The rules apply to all businesses. Some people don't get that. That's why I was able to last in the business as long as I did. That's why I'm still on a Legends contract to this day.
Yeah,
I can relate to that mindset.
Reality of wrestling. You still in the business to this day.
Right. That's why I've always respected the business. I never thought I was bigger than the business.
Right. And we've heard stories about some guys.
And I appreciate being in the business.
Right.
Because the business was good to me. It was good to my family. It put my daughter through college. It gave my daughter a trust fund. You dig what I'm saying? It gave me the liberty to go and see things that I never saw before or never would have seen. And to interact and meet certain people that I've met and people that admire what I do and things of that nature, and I appreciate that, man. That's a blessing.
Definitely.
I'm not very religious, but that's a blessing.
Definitely.
I can definitely relate to the mindset.
I take it for what it is. Huh?
Yeah, I could definitely relate to that mindset of going in with just a business marker and not really trying to make friends, because that's how you get sidetracked on, the overall mission. Like, a lot of guys, they get caught up in the mix, trying to make friends and stuff, and their careers just either get derailed, or when they get stabbed in the back, they don't know how to recover from it.
There you go. And like I said earlier, those same things will happen in any form of entertainment. You dig?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't but a couple of people got your back. Ain't but a couple of people gonna have your back. And you need to know who they are. Now, that's not saying being an introvert or being antisocial. You just gotta know the ropes.
Definitely.
Because here comes.
There you
that's
go,
why you see so many. I mean, that's just real talk, brother. I don't know how to put it in any other way.
You made it crystal clear. You got to remind yourself
man.
of those who want to see you succeed. You know, I mean,
So
it's just
a lot of. Right.
You getting games from Stevie Ray live. Hold on, Stevie. I gotta plug this real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, bro.
This, of course, sponsored by Da Vinci. You can't forget about Da Vinci. Make sure you check out Da Vinci too, Stevie Ray. They're on Instagram also. They got the nice clothing. We got Stevie Ray in the building, spitting that game for you guys out there, man. You already know the number, 619-924-0703. Press 1 if you want to talk to the legendary Stevie Ray from Harlem Heat.
Definitely.
Or if you want to get some business tips.
What was that?
Or if you want to get some tips on, how to, not surviving not only wrestling, but also the game of life in general, because that's what this show is all about as well. We also drop those gems. It parallels.
That's good. That's good.
Now,
but speaking of businesses and stuff, like, talk to us about reality of wrestling. Like, I see, you, Book, and Charmel, the family came together, and you guys got a Fed. How long has Fed's been, how many years you guys been out with reality of wrestling so far?
Close to 10 now.
Okay.
Damn. That's what's up.
Yeah, close to 10 now. 9, 10, something like that. Been a minute now. It started little, but it's grown. But it's just having fun with what you like to do. Right. And that's what I try to tell the young guys, man. Ain't nothing wrong with being ambitious, but if you don't enjoy it, you'll never make it.
Now, in terms of that, Stevie Ray, I wanted to segue that into the documentary and also the movie as well, Beyond the Mat and The Wrestler, of course. Because Beyond the Mat, you and your brother survived all those years because the strenuousness, having to go through things every night, being a professional, ready to perform, you all never fell into those drug habits. But a lot of guys did. And we've lost so many legends over the years, in terms of drug overdoses and health issues. How hard is it to really maintain that level of stamina to keep doing it? Because y'all did it, but so many did it. What was it like, for some of those guys? Oh, go ahead.
No. I listen to you. I'm listening to you 100%.
But and of course, no, you're good. You're good. And especially with the movie The Wrestler, with Mickey Rourke, that has to be one of the most clairvoyant depictions of a wrestler I've ever seen. For a guy who's not a wrestler, but he nailed that role.
It hit a lot of points in the wrestling business that people don't know about.
Yes, sir.
And I think Mickey Rourke played the hell out of that part, man. He really did.
Yes, he did.
And,
Andy Robinson.
Yeah. And hey, that gave you a glimpse of things that really go on in the wrestling business, man. It's this business, just like any form of entertainment. I will tell you this, and I'm quite sure you guys already know it. The business of entertainment doesn't give a shit about you.
That's true. Let's move on to the next act.
It gives it. Hey, what is the old adage? The
only
show
as good as your last performance. Yeah.
The show must go on, bro.
And you're only as good as your last performance. When they think you can't perform anymore.
And that's true too. Depending on who's running things, but at the end of the day,
right?
Everything keeps moving, and that's the thing. That's the thing that people don't understand. That's one of the things. My boy Ahmed, I used to tell him when he got up to WWE, man. Hey, this business don't love you, bro. Keep your nose clean up there.
Yeah, and I heard that.
Somebody's gonna be in line to try to fuck you over, bro.
And
once you start getting a push, you know, there's always somebody there to try to stop your push, bro. You never know who they are.
And I also heard that Ahmed. I also heard Ahmed in terms of, and this is no shade on him at all because we never throw shade on the show. We just speak real facts about what we know of in terms of the situation. But with Ahmed, I heard that Ahmed also had an issue in terms of him being a professional and how he conducted himself, like he wasn't training as he should have, and guys were getting legitimately hurt in matches with him. Can you share light?
That was from. I heard some of those same things. I wasn't there, but I heard some of them because, well, you know, being in the business, certain guys talk to you. So I'm not getting it on second level like you guys are.
Got you.
See what I'm saying? I'm getting it right from different people that work there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, man, come on, bro. You know. But, hey, man, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, when you ask me about drugs and things of that nature, if you're that kind of person in the wrestling business, you're going to be that same person outside the wrestling business.
Basically.
I never put the wrestling business as something that stagnated somebody's growth. If you're a fuck up, you're a fuck up in any business.
Right.
You just got more. You just apt to be around it more in the entertainment business. That's why you see somebody. Huh?
You know something thing too. Stevie Ray, because you and your bro, you guys stayed in such great shape after all these years. While there's other wrestlers out there that end up, basically,
right.
Lose, their health starts to diminish. What is it that? What is it that that you do to stay in shape or whatever? Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm about to start going back to the gym my damn self. Give me some tips.
I don't want to get that podcast. I don't want to get that podcast gut yet.
I tell people this all the time, though, man. The wrestling business had nothing to do with me and my health. Right. I was a guy that was in the gym every day before I ever got in the wrestling business, and I'm the same guy with the same lifestyle that I had 30 years ago, 35 years ago. Same lifestyle.
Changed. You had those good habits.
The only thing changed is I'm not in the ring anymore. I've never been an alcohol guy. I've never been a drug guy. I've never been a fucking guy that's out all night chasing pussy.
Right.
I've never been that guy. Don't get me wrong. I do my share.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Celebrity life is great. I know the celebrity life is great after hours.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But I've never been that guy. Okay, I'm on the road, so I'm just gonna get drunk, pop pills, and all this kind of stuff. And I've never been that guy. I've never been that guy. And I look at guys that were those guys, and I'm like, wow, what the hell? But, it's just an experience for me. I just look at him and go, hey, man, better him than me. Not saying that I would rather him see something happen to him. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that if that's what makes your life feel good and happy, go do it. I ain't going to stop you, and I'm not going to say anything. I just know what's good for me. That's the only thing I got power over is myself. It's the only thing.
Yeah.
And I still do the same thing to this day. Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna show you after you finish. Yeah, but I was show you, but on your podcast, because I subscribed to it last month. One of the best podcasts out there, and with you covering wrestling, you have to cover what's current and everything like that. And in comparison to how the business was, like in terms of entertainment value, do you see it like evolving, or you see it taking a step backwards?
No, what I see is what pop culture does to all entertainment that we look at on a day-to-day basis, regardless what it may be. Pop culture dictates how everything evolves. That is one reason I've always had a problem. And my boy K. Reno and C. Murder and all them guys will tell you, I always had a problem with how Wall Street took hip hop.
Yeah, it made it corporate.
And changed it into what they wanted it to be.
Exactly.
Because you have powers in numbers. It's your thing. In the words of James Brown, this is my thing. And did you ever see James Brown change for anybody? No.
Hell no.
I would never, as an artist, because I got more pride than that, because I don't worship material things. I don't worship money. I don't worship somebody telling me that I'm somebody and I need to be somebody, but I know within myself I'm somebody to me.
Exactly. That's deep.
So when it comes to my art, I won't change it for somebody. I will not degrade my fellow man. I will not misogynist my fellow woman. I won't put down my community. I won't get into a battle that actually becomes real and people believe it, but takes my community and take them down a notch and just put them in another position to be put in jail because they got a place for you. They've made a lot of, jails and stuff like that, and they got to have them. They got to have just like a hotel. I got to get people in them to make money.
Exactly.
So
that's real still, especially
in a lot of ways, you sacrificed the art form for personal reasons.
Right.
You never sacrifice what you started. And somebody else don't even understand it, but they do understand numbers. That's all they care about. If every hip-hop artist fell off the planet tomorrow, they wouldn't care. They would sleep good at night.
Exactly.
Because that's just the way they built. But at the end of the day, our art form, not just hip-hop, in a lot of ways, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we dress, they've taken and made billions off of it.
Yes, they have.
And I got a problem with that. So that's why I'm one of the ways I am, because I see the world for what it is, not for what someone tell me it is. I did my own research. And at the end of the day, I'm from another era where an artist would tell you, like when someone wanted Stevie Wonder to change his way, change the way he do things. If it take me 8 months to make an album, this is what I do. You don't want to pay me, somebody else will.
Exactly.
Because I'm that fucking good. So you can't minimize me. I'm that good. I'm an artist.
That is, if there was any,
there you go, man.
If there was any jewels of truth in that, that was one of them. Because a lot of people, we look at how hip-hop how it's changed over the years. And as you said, when the corporate entities got involved, when they saw they could make money off of it, because when you look at it from 1978 to roughly right around the you could say the early 2000s, that's when you kind of saw the change in it, where you saw it becoming more, back in the day, you had so many artists that were on independent labels that did not need a big label's money. And then with the phenomenon of hip-hop, rap music, it was still underground. It had not hit the commercial mainstream, so we still had control of it. And for a lot of people, it's just like what happened with rock and roll back in the day. They never thought rock and roll would last, but it did. And hip-hop is the voice for the urban community of black and brown people who were marginalized in society. But like you said, once they realized in terms of fashion, in terms of changing, the image, and I'm going to just go there. I'm gonna just go there. The shit that we see now niggas wearing, we weren't dresses. Just tattoos on the face for nothing more than shock value. A dude wearing a wedding dress in a video and putting a gun in his mouth. That's
just degeneracy.
Which is all a part of the mind control. Right. Everything is a part of mind control. To actually feminize a black man.
There you go.
So,
Stevie Ray in the building, y'all.
A lot of
we're talking about hip hop right now. We're not even talking about wrestling right now. This is how diverse Off the Cuff Radio is.
I do this on my own podcast because when you got...
Let them know the name of that podcast one more time.
It's Stevie Ray, Stand Up for Greatness. And I'm going to tell you, right before we had to shut down, we were 195 on iTunes.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
And that's because I tell it like it is. I don't hold anything back, and I tell it like it is. And that's why, people like the stories. You can incorporate a lot of things in like what we're doing right now. Okay, I'm a professional wrestler. You guys got a wrestling show. That's fine. But just because that was my occupation, and I tell people this all the time, I wrestled for a living. I am a proud African-American man as a human being.
Tell it.
Now, which one you think I give a more of a damn about?
And that is one thing. That is one thing that I respect so much about, you and your brother, and a lot of other brothers in the game too. Who always, you never did any coonery. There was never any buffoonery. Y'all always, you both carried the torch for representation for a demographic that, kind of at times was just maybe considered a passing, interest in terms of what people would say, well, they watch, but we're really not going to really try. But you guys did so much to uplift us, as people, and we can't thank you enough.
I appreciate that, bro.
For your contributions.
Well, speaking of coonery and buffoonery, I got to ask you this also.
He's laughing at what's coming.
I already know.
I know it's coming. He had his notes. He had his notes for a minute, man. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
We probably kind of gravitating toward that category right now. So that's
how we do, man. That's how we do. But
gotta load it up.
You already know. All right. Yeah. What's the first thing you told your brother when he came up with the whole King Booker? That whole King Booker stint.
Vince and them came up with that, but it's typical. It's typical. You rarely in today's, let's say from 2005 till today, I guess that'll be 13 years, 12 and a half years, whatever the situation may be. If you look at the African American in the professional wrestling business versus WWE goes, and I'm not saying this in a disparaging type of way, I have not seen just a strong African American man that lays it down the way we did. And when I tell people, you guys asked me earlier, why didn't I go to WCW? First of all, I was kind of fed up with the business back then, so I went overseas for 3.5 years. And by me going overseas for 3.5 years, I didn't have to deal with the domestic part of how professional wrestling is here. I didn't even have to see it. And I had started another business here, so I had to be home more. And my daughter was getting older at the time too, so I wanted to be home more. But be that as it may, with all of that being said, there's a lot of things that I didn't agree with as far as my brother character goes, but that's him. That's not me. Okay?
I actually love King Booker. I'm not going to lie. But it was just so out of the ordinary coming from,
I'm not saying anything about it. But what I'm saying is that is how WWE likes to put characters out there, not as what you as African Americans want to see, but as they see us.
Right.
And what can I sell to the masses, not what I can sell to the 13% of the African American audience that's, I don't know what percentage of our audience.
Exactly.
If that actually makes sense. So at the end of the day, when you ask me what did I say about King Booker, it's typical of WWE. That is just how they work in a lot of ways. You know,
they do characters.
But do you know what's
just
so
like
talented about Book made? I didn't mean to cut you off, but what was so talented about Booker though was like anything that they gave him, he made it work somehow. That just show how talented he was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, they're not gonna even approach somebody with something if they don't think that person can make this work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with being a king, but what African Americans have a problem with, why do you talk like that? That's the question.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the seat.
There's nothing wrong. We come from a
It's more than a sham.
culture.
I am from the SmackDown Kingdom, and my name is King Booker.
Right. We
And
come
I
from
am
a culture of kings and queens. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our culture is of kings and queens. So it's nothing new about that. But
it would have been better if you'd have kept, basically kept, how he was talking from before, and that would have. Oh my God!
You see that?
Oh, you just reminded me of something. You just reminded me of something, Stevie Ray.
What's that?
Remember when Booker T was in TNA and they tried to make him sound Jamaican?
Man.
Nothing surprised me about TNA either.
Yeah, I had to. I'm sorry. I had to. Yo, I'm like, why they got Booker T sounding Jamaican?
It's your show. What you sorry about, man?
I had to.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, bro. I mean,
that confused me.
Trying to get info. I mean, what you want me to say? I didn't give him the gimmick. But hey, man. I mean, hey, it is what it is. That's the pro wrestling business, brother. That's just the way. And I know what you guys are saying. It's such a stretch from where you grew up watching to where it became. That's what you're saying without saying it, right?
Yeah.
We just saw the changes as it went along.
Right. That's the pro wrestling business, brother. That's the ideas of some of these numbskulls and knuckleheads that actually behind the scenes putting shit together thinking they know shit, man. Then again, a lot of times they'll do shit just to try to make you look stupid and get a laugh out of it, within themselves. So that's the kind of stuff.
I definitely know that.
Sometimes, bro.
I see you guys as trailblazers. Yeah, I see you guys as like trailblazers and everything, and it's kind of like for me, like being a long time fan to adapt and watch, a lot of the buffoonery with the new acts they be signing to WWE. Now, I like the New Day and everything, but sometimes they go over the top with that shit.
Brother, hey, I don't even have any words for that, bro. I really don't.
But see,
he can't talk. That's what I'm saying. He can't talk too crazy because Booker is with the company and all that.
I give you an honest assessment, brother. I don't. A lot of things that go on, I don't understand. Just because I was a professional wrestler, a lot of people think I understand all this. I don't. Just because an astronaut goes to the moon. John Glenn went to the moon, right? Okay, that don't mean he understands why they build another type of spaceship. What was wrong with the one? I drove to the moon, I mean.
I just had to put that out there because I saw a clip in the news
real.
yesterday.
That's real
I was like, man, come on. I just had to put it out there. I had to get it off my chest.
I mean, I'm like this, bro. A lot of the stuff that you see, I don't even understand. So asking me about it, I can't give you an answer. I don't know.
But
I'm not too proud to tell a person I don't know.
But you know what?
Right.
So what about this though, Stevie Ray? Like, do you watch the product now? Like, are you ready for the Royal Rumble tonight?
Not as much as people think I do. I'll watch a match here and a match there because I'm usually at the gym when the wrestling show comes on, so I really don't get a chance to see a lot of it.
Right.
Okay.
But you know what, Stevie Ray? What you said about how people will do certain things in the name of money or fame, it reminds me of what happened with Dave Chappelle when he left his show when they were having him do questionable skit when they wanted him to do questionable skits. And Dave was like, I'm not doing this. And he walked away from $50 million. But when he was on Oprah, he echoed the same sentiments. He's like, they were laughing a little bit harder than I was.
Right.
And
when you give a damn about your art, if material stuff overrides your self-respect, you will always choose the latter of the two.
And that's true. And that's why I get so much props to Dave.
Especially when you come from nothing.
Right.
And people out there that's running things and controlling things, they know this. They know it. These people have a lot to offer. Let's take it from them, but don't give them shit back to them. We'll take it all. And we'll let them have the crumbs, which is more than enough for them. That's been going on since the crucifixion, bro.
The have and the have not. But it's a situation where, like you said, with your talent, you knew you were going to be successful wherever you went. Just like with Dave. Dave was already an established comedian, so Dave didn't need it.
Right.
When Dave knew the situation wasn't right, he was like, yo, I'm out.
Well,
and he can still do a Netflix and get paid $20 million.
Well, the thing is, look how many years went by since that happened, right?
Right.
Look how many years went by. That was what, early 2000s?
That was 2004 after the second season when they gave over the,
like I said, early 2000. I'll call mid 2005 and up.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. 12 and a half, 13 years went by.
Right.
How much money do you think Dave Chappelle made in them 13 years?
A lot.
Okay. Because what? He's talented.
He was still,
as long as he's talented,
right.
As long as he's talented, you might not pay me, but somebody else will.
Exactly.
Didn't I tell you
it's not only that he's talented, that nigga got a hell of a management team.
But at the end of the day, you got to have a management team to manage what you do. But what I'm saying is, a
real good management team.
Right. At the end of the day, I'm a somebody, and people like me. If I say I don't want to do television ever again, I can still sell out stadiums all over the world.
That is true. And we're kind of getting off, and I want to kind of change it in another tangent for a minute, because what you said is true, because Dave basically works when he wants to.
Right.
Now, in terms of the situation with Monique, how did you feel when she started going off on that tangent about, because we're all pro-black here, and we all support black people. We love being.
Right.
What's really going on with Monique in terms of this whole situation,
I don't know.
man?
I
just want to get your opinion
Monique
on that.
has been, from what I've read, Monique has been blackballed for a minute,
Right.
And, we haven't seen the real Monique in quite some time. And I was reading something the other day. I don't know how true it is. Like somebody posted something that she was actually lying about the $500,000.
She was off at $3 million instead of that $500,000.
But at the end of the day, why would she go on YouTube or whatever, social media, and say they only offered her $500,000? Why would she do that?
Well, it's funny, man.
And why would she ask? Why would she ask? This is the thing that gets me.
Right.
When it's time for people to stand together and protest different companies that's taking advantage of our young black individuals, male or female, in the entertainment business, and we don't stand together, why should we stand together and help you?
Right.
What has Monique ever done?
And they're calling out Oprah
and ask somebody to protest something, man. First of all, I'm not putting my business in. That's just me. I'm not putting my business in the street like that to tell you. Even if I put my business in the street like that, I'm not going to ask you to take what you like to do on an entertainment basis and stop looking at it for me. That's not right in my eyes.
Right.
But what would be right in my eyes is to just tell people, hey, like some people, hey, Netflix asked me $500,000. I didn't think it was right. I think I'm bigger than that and blah, blah, blah. But why does that have to be some kind of confrontation between African Americans and Netflix? Netflix got a lot of African Americans on there that they doing good things with. What about them?
Yeah.
Then you start hurting
exactly.
Right? And the fact is, with Monique, I'm not in that scene, But it's ironic after she won that Oscar for Precious back in 2010, and supposedly, Lee Daniels told her that she had been blackballed. But it's like, where did it happen in terms of why she got blackballed? And I mean, but to come at
because
Oprah,
I think a lot of I think a lot of people actually believe winning an Oscar makes you bigger than what you are. That used to be true. It's not true anymore.
You think she started believing that?
Did you hear when she went on there and said, "Shit, I'm the number one comedian"? Did you hear her say that?
She said she
my God.
That's like okay. So you're just gonna ignore Whoopi and a couple of other people as well. Whoopi and all of them, black and white, who came before her, and she's gonna say she's the most decorated.
Did Jamie Foxx win off?
Yeah, for Ray.
I think he did for Ray.
And
right.
Yeah, he won it for Ray for Best Actor.
What I'm saying is this.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that have won Oscars, okay?
Uh-huh.
And never had a successful movie after that.
Right.
The Oscar means you had a stellar performance.
Right.
That don't mean you are a stellar performer.
That's church right there. But it goes back to what you said about wrestlers. A lot of them think that they are more than what they actually are.
I mean, the Oscar is a good tool when you in there negotiating. But at the end of the day, you said it yourself. What have you done for me lately? Okay, you won an Oscar, great performance. But some of those movies that win Oscars never drew a dime.
That's true.
Half the time I look at the academies, I'm like, how the hell did this movie get nominated? I never heard of it.
That's the thing. They're not going by box office. If that's the truth, if box office was about it, then everything in Avatar would have swept the whole goddamn thing, right?
That's true. But I mean, but you
Avatar
remember,
made more money than any movie in the history of cinema.
That's true. But it's funny though, dog, because what happened is, you remember back in the day when Al Sharpton and them were leading the charge against the Academy Awards, because when Denzel did the Hurricane, which was such a stellar performance, and there were no black people nominated, and basically said, we're going to boycott Hollywood if somebody don't get something. And the next year, he gets it for Training Day, which I thought Training Day was a great movie. I didn't think it was Oscar caliber, but that's I love Denzel. For what it was, it was a great action movie for what it was, but I don't think that it was actually Heat was an Oscar movie. And then of course when Halle Berry won for Monsters Ball, but that movie is when you look at it, that movie is disturbing on so many levels.
That was a great movie, Monsters Ball. It didn't make any money at the box office either.
Right.
That movie
I thought it did.
It
was good. I just said it was disturbing though when you look at the characters in terms of how they were. Right.
But that's how they look at cinema. I mean, not cinema, but acting.
Right.
It's the art of acting. It's not the art of the movie.
Right. Right. That is true.
It's the art of acting and the performance of that character, and that's what it's based on. The movie, like you said, like my man just said, I never heard of that movie. And most of the movies that you look at on the Oscars are not the box office movies. If that's the case, Harrison Ford should have 20 goddamn Oscars.
That's true. Because Harrison's done some stuff.
You telling me anybody could have played Indiana Jones?
Nope.
You got a point.
It's just like,
you telling me anybody? You telling me if you saw Indiana Jones, how the hell could you? Who else could have done that, bro? I mean, talk about.
They're gonna reboot it. They're gonna reboot it sooner or later because Harrison Ford getting older. They're gonna reboot Indiana Jones eventually.
Han Solo and Indiana Jones was 5 movies that was in the top 10 grossing movies of all time back in the day. One dude.
Right.
And all of them got paid off of that.
And
Harrison
Ford
Ford
never got
was
nominated
killing
for
them in
nothing.
the 80s.
And they ain't nominated for
Oh,
nothing.
go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? What did he ever get nominated for?
I don't think Harrison's ever been nominated for an Oscar. He
I don't think so
might
either.
have. But
I don't
get on my Googles and look that up.
I'm just saying, Indiana Jones to me was the baddest dude of the 80s.
Yes, he was.
You talking about
Raiders of the
you
Lost
telling
Ark?
me Indiana Jones? You telling me the Indiana Jones character and the way he played those movies in that, playing a swashbuckler back in the 30s and 40s was not as good as Denzel Washington playing a black bad cop? You kidding me, man?
And we all love Denzel, but Denzel, Denzel should have got it for Glory in terms of lead actor, but he got it in 1989 for Best Supporting Actor in Glory.
Right.
But then again, that's because his role was secondary, but he played it. But
oh yeah,
you know what it is? You know what it was in training days is that because people didn't normally see Denzel Washington as a bad guy. And it's like how he played the bad guy. He played it so smooth.
That's true.
And he was very smart.
Wait a minute. He never played a bad guy?
Not until that movie.
No, I'm saying I'm not. I don't mean like never. I mean people that normally see him as a bad guy in movies. He's always been like that, romantic type, or he'll be like a good cop.
Didn't Denzel murder his sergeant in A Soldier Story?
Oh, An Officer and a Gentleman. And that Officer and a Gentleman, Soldier Story.
Soldier Story.
Yeah.
What about that?
But that was not.
But that's the thing. A lot of people don't know about that. That's what I'm saying. It's not familiar to the public eye like that.
That was a great movie. No lie.
But
Soldier
was
Story
a
was a great movie.
Yes, it was. Adolph Caesar, David Allen Greer, Robert Townsend, Blair Underwood.
That was one of those movies. Go ahead.
But that was a situation with Denzel when you watch the movie, when you see what had been happening in that command, you see why he did what he did at the end of it.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about the plot. I'm not talking about the plot of the movie. We just know Denzel is not as. We just know Denzel is not as good as everybody think he is. Like, you killed once, that means you'll kill again.
That's true. He's like, yeah, I done it. I can do it again.
That's how the system look at us, right? You killed once, Joker. Well, a cop walk up and
no names with it, but yeah.
Denzel,
won't call out no names, but yeah.
That's that Denzel charm right there.
And the man was drunk, couldn't defend himself.
Man, yeah, but The Soldier Story, that was an excellent movie.
Sure. Well, anyways,
great movie, man.
How much minutes we got left, King? We got like 10 more minutes
we got
left.
probably about 15 minutes to spare.
So,
but yeah, man. Hey, bro. At the end of the day, we have an uphill battle. We have an uphill struggle in this thing that we call the entertainment business that they've taken away from us and given us what they want us to have. And what I think, and like I say, when I talk about entertainment, I'm not just talking about wrestling. I'm talking about everything, brother. They have minimized us in every way, shape, or form that they can. And it's not an accident. It's contrived and it's on purpose. And I just wish more of us, took heed to that, man, because we, when it comes to entertainment, it's what we do better than any other people on this earth.
Right.
That's real. It ain't no accident when Stevie won 7 Grammys in one night. It ain't no accident when Michael Jackson wins 7, 8 Grammys in one night. You know why? Because we head and shoulders are better than everybody else. That's just
and is the highest selling artist ever in the history of the world with his album.
Right. So when we do that, that's not an accident. That's just our flavor. That's just the way God made us, bro.
That's true.
He made us that way. It's a crying shame that we look at stuff in such an inverted way that a record label like Death Row that could have ruled the world crashes, burns, and everybody goes to jail or either dies. That's a shame.
But Suge, you know what I'm saying? Suge started.
That shouldn't happen, bro.
Suge started.
But by them brainwashing us and go ahead.
Matter of fact, you heard about what happened yesterday. That they arrested 2 of his former counsel that they were trying to pay off the witnesses.
I heard about that.
I heard about that.
But I'm just saying, brother, we got to stop overlooking. We got to stop overlooking, man, that we should control what we do. We should control what we wear. We should control every single solitary entity that we do and put money, and money should go back into our neighborhoods, back into our communities, man. I mean, we would be the 9th largest, money-wise, we're the 9th largest country in the world. But that money doesn't go back into our communities. And these are things that I preach about all the time because I've been seeing it for a long time. It's one thing that I never compromise for nobody. And I never apologize for being black and being African American and being proud. That's why I tell people, fuck you. Fuck you. You don't know me.
Exactly.
You know the other guy. The other guy that listens to you. I don't listen to you because I know who you are.
Exactly.
And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not afraid.
Because I guess he'll catch you with a bicycle kick, goddammit.
No, I ain't talking about being
Harlem hangover on your ass.
Catch you with a Harlem hangover.
People don't want to hear the truth because they always let somebody else talk them out of it. You know, like Colin Kaepernick loses his job because of a protest in a country that was built on protest.
Yes, it was. The revolution.
What's hypocritical about it? This whole country that we live in today was built on protest.
Yeah.
The Boston Tea Party, you learned that in the 2nd grade. The Boston Tea Party. That was protest.
Yeah. The American Revolution. You know, with Christopher Maddox, and when he was murdered in Boston, when the British shot him, that was the beginning of the American Revolution.
Yes.
And then later on, we declared our independence from England.
Right.
You know, this country has been built on protest and revolution. When we didn't like something, we fought the system.
Right.
You know, and for Kaepernick, what he did to stand up,
But you know what I'm saying is, the way I think right now, and if I'm in the NFL, if I was a somebody, I would have had to stand with him.
Well,
you can't,
in terms of somebody signing him to the team, in terms of signing him on the team, in terms of signing him to a team, or what?
No, I said I would have had to stand with him in his protest.
Well, you know, a lot of the guys did, but the problem is, Kaepernick, when he stood up, he had a reason for it to kneel. The problem is, I have an issue with some of these guys doing it, because if you ask them what they're kneeling for, are you kneeling for, police brutality? Are you kneeling against racism? And some of those guys couldn't tell you in terms of why they're doing it.
But that I can understand that.
Right.
Some guys are just too young to know.
Right.
Some people are just uneducated on what's going on.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick was standing for something that was real. And the media tried to turn it into something that wasn't real. You had even other players going on there talking about something else and trying to turn it into something else. Those are the guys that I don't have any fucking respect for. A guy like Ray Lewis.
It turned into like a media circus. First it was something that was... First it was a statement, and then it just went out of control. It turned into like a media circus, and everybody started making spoofs, and it just got silly,
The powers that be would take a person like Ray Lewis and put him out there and start talking about something else, which convolutes the real fucking message.
Exactly, it distorts.
Because if you don't, then we're going to take your statue down in front of the stadium. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That is why people I don't see him going in the neighborhoods. It ain't about going in the neighborhood. That is
But
why
he
you
spent
think
a whole bunch of his own money to help people in the neighborhood. He's put his money up for it. Kaepernick has put his money up to help people.
I'm talking about what Ray Lewis was saying. We need to go in
right.
blah, blah, blah. That ain't got nothing to do with the plight. The plight is I don't want to see my people dying for no reason.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I think a lot of those guys be paid off,
What's going on in the hood gonna be going on in the hood forevermore. But nobody in the hood deserves to die for nothing.
And even with white people who've been shot, white people say Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, which they're not. But it's like, how come, like that dude in Arizona, God rest his soul, who got killed, and he was surrendering, the cops shot him anyway, and Black Lives Matter has taken up his cause. But how come white people are not marching angry for him being killed?
Exactly. But the thing is, most people that's in position to talk about this issue will never have to deal with this issue.
Well, it's very rare that they do.
And then not only that, you never know if they probably did march or whatever or protested because of that murder. It's not gonna get televised because the media's gonna televise whatever they want us to see. They're not gonna televise everything.
The racially divided, to polarize the situation.
And then tell us that Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. You remember what happened in Dallas? Like the protesters had something to do with one guy, which was a lie anyway. Which was a lie by anybody that's got plain common sense. That was a lie, and it was put together to make that look good because they knew they had that debate coming up in a few days. It's all good.
Exactly.
They do it themselves, but they beat it into me. That's the kind of stuff I'm going to be talking about on my podcast. Because what I'm trying to do on my podcast now is I want to use wrestling to. We're still going to talk about wrestling, some of the funny stories and this, that, and the other, and some of the funny things. But I'm going to start bringing on more people that's doing stuff in the community. I'm going to start a phone line, and we tape my show live. And I want people to come on like Jesse Ventura. I want people to come on like, Cornell X here in town and talk about some of the things. You start a show off with one thing, but you end up with something else. And that's what I want to do, man, because I want to try to make it
I know that episode with Jesse Ventura is going to be very informative.
Because Jesse is real, and Jesse served in the forces, and Jesse is a real dude. I got so much respect for him. And he said he supported
I definitely can't wait. I can't wait for that episode.
Hey.
Oh, brother!
I can't wait to hear that one.
I want to have sports. I want to have sports figures on, and I can ask sports figures about what we're talking about right now, just to see what their hearts are, just to see what their heads are, because they've got us in this position right now. Don't say shit, or you won't be making your money no more. That's how they got it. That's how they got everybody.
Or side up with certain people so they can use that as a divide and conquer, like with Ray Lewis, posing with 45. Talking about how he's going to help, the inner city, which we all know is not going to happen.
By doing what?
Exactly.
What is Ray Lewis doing in the inner city that I've never done? And I'm from the inner city.
Exactly. But Ray
I'm going to go out and tell kids the truth. I'm going to go out and tell kids the truth.
Ray's become a corporate guy now.
I know
he's
that.
become a corporate guy.
Yeah,
I know that. That's why he does what he's doing. That's why Shannon Sharp called him out on it.
And Shannon Sharp, I rocked with Shannon on Undisputed. I rock with him because Shannon and Skip, they always come real with.
Skip don't know nothing.
I like Skip.
Skip Bayless don't know nothing. Skip Bayless, Skip Bayless, this guy actually sounds so stupid amongst athletes that really know their craft, and he started chronicling things that happened in the game. As you remember, in the third quarter, when they had a chance to get a first down right there. Blah. What the hell that's got to do with what the other guys just said?
I stopped taking him seriously with the way he was addressing the Mayweather-McGregor thing.
That was hilarious.
I stopped taking him seriously when he was. I stopped taking him seriously when he was trying to cover McGregor and Mayweather. And Mayweather won. He was still talking about, you got to talk about Conor's power or Conor's punch.
That man, he's such a. You know what, dog? I really got myself over when I was doing the radio show by talking about Floyd Mayweather. I really used to make a lot of people pissed off. I would talk about Floyd. I would talk about Floyd Mayweather. No, I would come on the show every week when a boxing match would come up, and I would talk about, and I would have people on the show, boxers or boxing trainers and stuff like that, and I would get in debates with them. Matter of fact, one of Mayweather's cousins called the radio show one day, and I got into it with him. But a lot of it was sticks because I'm Stevie Ray, but a lot of it was real because I'm a huge boxing fan. Been one since I was a little bitty boy. So when I talked about Floyd Mayweather, I wasn't talking about him like I just like a Skip Bayless, just bringing up shit because you just don't like the guy. I'm bringing up real stuff because I am a boxing fan.
You understand the
I'm a boxing fan, and I'm not wooed by what they're doing to my mind because I can see it. So people say, well, you know, he made this much money. I said, well, brother, if you want to talk about financial things, you need to go to CNBC or whatever they're, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I hate when they say, yeah, exactly.
Because Floyd
I hate when people always run to that argument.
Right.
They be like, oh, well, look how much money he got, you know.
Right. I said, Floyd Mayweather's money ain't got nothing to do with me because it'll never go back in my pocket or my community's pocket. So why would I want to sit here and talk about that? I said, I'm a fan, and I want to see competition. Let's talk about that. I said, if you look at every single guy at Floyd Mayweather, and this is what I used to tell people. I said, I got nothing against how good the man is, but you got to realize guys in another era, they had to fight guys with similar skills.
Exactly.
A Sugar Ray Leonard had to fight a Tommy Hearns, or Muhammad Ali had to fight a Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Forget about, Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray,
Right. Marvin Hagler. Oh, I was just mentioning two at a time. Then I will come back and throw another guy on top of that layer. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Evander Holyfield had to fight a Lennox Lewis, a Riddick Bowe, or Mike Tyson.
Right.
I say, if you look at the American Indian, the Cherokee, if he's hunting another Cherokee, he knows what that Cherokee is going to do. You know why? We're the same.
Right.
Afghan, when you go into Afghanistan, and Afghan, they hire Afghans to track other Afghans. You know why? They're the same. I know his tendencies. I know what they will do. Right or wrong?
Right.
I say Floyd Mayweather is the only person in a generation that didn't have to fight the other African-American fighter.
And see, I rock with Floyd, but when you look at Floyd's bravado and bluster, Floyd is a very fundamental fighter.
I ain't even getting into that.
Right.
That really has nothing to do with anything. When you fight the flat-footed Hispanic fighter,
right.
In essence, you're fighting the same guy over and over and over again. And that style of fighting that you do will beat that class of fighting every day of the week.
That's true.
Yeah, I think I also say, too. Go ahead.
Huh? You
will
have to come out of your. You don't even have to come out of your comfort zone because you know it's so good. And I say, the thing is, when Floyd Mayweather became to the top and the height of his popularity, there were no more African American fighters around to fight at that level.
That's true.
And if they were, they wasn't getting a push. Like the wrestling business, you wasn't getting a push. So in essence, what they do is build up a guy like the Vic Ortiz, who's really a nobody, or Robert Guerrero, a nobody. Even Canelo Alvarez, he was somebody that was not as good as people thought he was. He was just bigger.
Yeah,
he wasn't better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or Marcos Maidana, who you fought twice, that nobody knew. That Devin Alexander beat, that Amir Khan beat, but you fought him.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, all these guys are built up from a 24/7 show to make people believe this guy can beat you. It's pro wrestling 101.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look, Mayweather ain't going to fight.
Now, if we really want to talk about real competition, I didn't see him getting in the ring with Paul. I didn't see him getting in the ring with Paul Williams before Paul Williams had his accident. Right?
Yeah, I was about to mention Paul Williams. Paul Williams was nasty.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see him getting in the ring with him. I didn't see him getting in the ring with
Gennady.
Some of the other guys because they say, he ain't beat nobody. But wait a minute, Marcus Madonna, I just said, lost to Amir Khan and Devin Alexander. But they knew the Hispanic dollar would always follow the money.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm not talking about how good somebody is. I'm not talking about how rich somebody is. What I'm talking about is, there you go. So
and the Mexicans have a big contingent. They have a very big contingent.
I will always avoid risk for high reward.
Exactly.
Because it's a mind thing. They made people believe this guy has a chance. And that's why the fights are so boring, and that's why you don't even remember them.
That's true.
That's what. You look on HBO or on Showtime 24/7. Hey, you thinking, this dude gonna beat Floyd, or this dude, he gonna knock Floyd out. Then you go check the fight. This dude's a bum.
This guy's a bum. Robert Guerrero ain't won a fight since he fought Floyd Mayweather. Marcus Madonna, he retired after the fight. Andre Berto, how many people beat this man up? So many people beat this man up, he had to go back to Haiti. I mean, really?
And look, by the time he fought Pacquiao was already in the end when Mayweather fought him.
Say what now?
Yeah, the thing Berto had a chance. It was like Floyd's last fight.
But you remember, even in the Pacquiao fight, the man had a fucking torn labrum and they wouldn't even let him get a shot.
That's true.
That was true.
Pacquiao got knocked out too.
I know
before.
the media tried to make it seem like it wasn't, but if you look at the fight, goddamn, wasn't no punches even thrown because Floyd held the man the whole fight.
Yeah, I mean, when Juan Manuel Marquez knocked out Pacquiao, that was like, whoa.
Yeah, but in that 4 or 5 rounds, what did you see in that 4 or 5 rounds? You seen two people trying to knock each other's heads off.
Yeah.
Okay, you got me.
But that's how the
I'm not afraid to fight a motherfucker as good. Go ahead.
That's how the Spanish boxers really be fighting, though. Like always mentioned, like with the Mexican boxers, it would be the first round. It was like 500 thrown, 450 landed.
Right, and that's why you will always remember the fight with those guys. Like you just brought up Pacquiao getting knocked out. You remember that fight because it was a short fight, but both of them got knocked down. But if you are a fan to boxing, I want to see a top guy against another top guy. I ain't even have to fight you, but I know I can beat you, and I can't get it out of my butt. We got to fight
exactly.
Again. I admire that. If you see what I'm saying,
right?
I admire that. You don't know how many times when I was a kid. And, I'm thinking, I'm about to get into it with somebody at school, and I'm like, I know I can beat this punk, and I can't go to sleep that night.
Right.
I know I can beat that punk. You know what I'm saying? And just because some of my friends have said they thought he could, he might be as tough as you. Whether it's on the basketball court, whether it's running, who's the fat, you know what I'm saying? That's the competition spirit within you. And it ain't nothing wrong with it. I want to do it because that fire in you ain't going to be satisfied until you test yourself against that guy.
It's a competitor. You got to know who you can measure yourself by.
And that's the difference between people that do stuff like that for a living and people. So how easy is it for me to choose a nobody and then just want to make money? So in essence, you taking the spirit out of competition.
Exactly.
And a lot of people never got that because you're so enamored on how much money somebody getting made that you done lost focus of what true competition is all about.
And see, guys like Gennady, Floyd don't want no parts of Gennady. He don't want no parts of him. Gennady will go right at him. Triple G, Gennady.
I take it back. Gennady Golovkin is one thing. 2 years removed from Canelo, he wouldn't have did that fight again. You know why?
Right.
Because Canelo within 2 years, got so much better.
Yeah.
He got so much better.
That's true.
He wouldn't even did that. Seriously. Because you know why? I'm going to have to fight the guy this time.
Exactly.
Floyd would not, once he got to his height, he would not fight a guy that proposed a threat to him.
Exactly.
Not one single solitary guy. And I'm going to tell you something. When he fought Canelo the first time, the only reason he took that fight is Canelo Alvarez had fought Austin Trout. Do you remember that? He fought Austin Trout. And everybody saw right there, Canelo is not as good as everybody think he is. Real talk.
I think we had some. Yeah, man. I mean, that's a great boxing analyst right there that you gave us. And we about to wrap this thing up shortly. And this is one of the reasons why we chose you to be a part of the show is because we're a very diverse show. Like when we have a guest on there, we don't just talk about just, the rap side of things. We like getting into different layers of who we talking to. And this is the first time we ever had a wrestler on, so we figured we want to have different layers into the discussion.
Word.
Hey,
we learned a lot more about Stevie Ray, man. Like, other than wrestling, we learned a lot more. Like, love movies, love boxing, so.
Oh, I love a lot of things, bro. I love a lot of things, man. And
as always, Off the Cuff Radio is very informative.
I try to be a kind of person that knows a little about a lot. And two things I'd never want to be was the dumbest guy in the room. I don't want to be the oldest guy in the room and the dumbest guy in the room. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be both.
Yeah.
That's just out.
Keeping that balance, man.
But I already know before we wrap up, you want to chop it up about the Rumble real quick, King?
Well, actually, we're doing a pre-show tonight. Actually, my producer just texted me. We're going to shoot a pre-show tonight. That's what I'm getting ready to do now. Man, I didn't realize I've been on the phone with y'all this long.
Man, that's how the
chopping it up.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how they
chopping it up, man.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I did not know I'd been on the phone with you guys this long. It's after 4 o'clock, and we started around 2 o'clock. But anyway, but we covered a lot of ground, brother. We covered a lot of ground. What I like is when people come on. I really don't do a lot of interviews anymore, man, because it's certain people they've got shows and they want to talk about stuff, but they really don't know anything. And it's hard for me to really chop it up with people that don't know anything about stuff and don't want to know anything about stuff. My mind just doesn't float on that level anymore, and that's not trying to be disrespectful, but to talk about a match that I had with so-and-so, and you try to tell, look, bro, I don't remember that. I can barely remember yesterday. I've been hit on the head with so many chairs and stuff like that for me to get back into nuances of what happened in a match, it's really, beyond my comprehension but talking about what you guys talked about today in some of the different categories, and if I can explain certain things that go on in the wrestling business, even though you guys are fans, you can look at it in a different perspective now, and that's what I like to do, to give you parts of stuff that, you can look at it in a different way now, and it kind of educates you a little on, what goes on in the business, and you guys kind of educated me on some of the other things that you guys know about, and that's what really chopping it up is about. And those are the things that I like to be involved in, and with people that understand what's really going on in this world and what's really going on with our people and what's really going on, and to see things for what they are and just don't fall into this brainwashing, this mass media propaganda that goes on a day-to-day basis that really, drives me. It just drives me batty. It really does.
Yeah, man.
To see things, and I'm a strong believer in Colonel L. Fletcher Prouty. I've read a couple of his books, and I strongly believe in one thing that he said in the first book that I read, that he former military liaison to the Pentagon. And He says that nothing in this world happens by accident. Nothing. And I believe
that's true. That's a military mindset.
I believe that. So,
yeah. I guess you want to end it on that note, King. Nothing in this world happens by accident. I guess we can end it on that note.
Yeah. And on top of it, we're going to definitely end it on that. And I wish we could get extra plug in the rum, oil rum for $9.99. I want that check, B. I want to see that Titan check released one time. Are we covered? Cause we've been covering these pay-per-views for about 2 or 3 years since we started, and we get tired of making the event sound good, but then when we look at the presentation, it just be garbage.
You know what it is? And we spoke about this too on the show on Friday. Like the build-up for the Royal Rumble has been so lackluster, so garbage. Any money bet Stevie Ray was going to take over the show, and look what happened. Because there's nothing to really talk about.
I tell you what, man, what we talked about tonight was a little bit more interesting, so cause there'll be more World
Exactly.
you know.
Step
and
it
I'm
up,
going
man.
to cover, actually, my pre-show tonight is going to cover, what we're going to do is talk about some of the matches, and I'm going to just have people send in comments, and I'll talk about, the matches and stuff like that. And I might even get into a little Enzo news, Might get into a little of that also. And see what people think about that.
So okay, we got a few more minutes left, right? Right, Kid? We got like a little bit more time left, right?
I'm gonna try to stretch it until they tell us to get the hell up out of here. that's
all right,
what we do.
So let's build on the Rumble real quick. So
okay.
Basically, like before we get to the Rumble though, you wanted to build on the Enzo situation. You wanted to say something about that?
The Enzo situation is what I'm going to talk about on my own show tonight. So I have to skip.
Yeah.
I have, with all due respect, I have to skip anything that I got, any comments, any thoughts I have on his situation right now.
Right.
Yeah,
okay, no problem.
We can't take all his content. We gotta get that content.
I tried. You can't blame me for trying.
That's that content.
You can't blame me for that. But I'm just saying, this is some of the things that we'll get into tonight. You know what I'm saying? You guys can send a comment in. You know what I'm saying? And because it will be live on YouTube, and we're going to talk about a few things, but basically we're going to be talking about the Royal Rumbles. And what I like to do is hear the people comments, and I like to comment on the people comments and things of that nature. Keep things fresh and just giving my opinion on everything. A lot of people want to hear my opinion on their opinions. So, and it makes the show interesting. So, that's what we're going to.
So, is there any wrestler? I know you don't normally watch the product, like heavily. But is there anybody, like any wrestler out there that you think that's good right now?
Oh, I think of a lot of them that's very good. It's not the wrestlers that I really concentrate on. It's pretty much the show.
Right.
And how everything flows. You know what I'm saying? How everything flows. And it's just the fact that they got so much of it to do now. It's just hard to keep trying to better yourself. It's hard, and I understand that. So you're talking about a 3-hour show one night, 2-hour show another night, and then you got to, implement this many guys from this show, this many guys from this show, how many girls, and make all this stuff make sense at the end of the day. That's very, very hard to do. So that's why it's hard for me. For my era, you know what I'm saying, the promos were 50% of the show.
Yeah, you are so right.
Promos, that's not an art. That's not an art form anymore like it used to be.
That's true.
You are so right. I'm glad you said that because we were talking about that also. Because that's like the key thing that's missing in wrestling nowadays. Like, because when you guys set your promos, it was like character development.
Right.
And it's like that's what made us give a fuck about the Road Warriors or Harlem Heat or because it's really the promos because you won't see them fight all the time. Like you guys are fighting like when it comes to like a special event, y'all won't fight all the time, but like half the time you guys is cutting promos, and that's what makes us look and be like. Nah, I gotta see these guys fight. I want to see these. These dudes sound like they serious.
And that's why I say pop culture kind of rules things today. But like back in the day, you didn't see the guys wrestling each other every night. You had to pay to see it. You know what I'm saying? Just like Muhammad Ali. Just like Muhammad Ali or Elvis Presley. You had to pay to see him.
Exactly.
You see Ali fight on ESPN?
That's not from your generation, but you never seen Elvis Presley doing interviews. You want to see him? Get your checkbook out.
There you go.
Exactly.
You got to pay that $49.99.
I mean, I'm just saying, and this was 45 years ago. I'm just saying, you want to see Muhammad Ali? You might see him on a show here and there. You know what I'm saying? But he was a very good self-promoter. He was doing pro wrestling stuff before we were doing pro wrestling stuff.
One of the original hip-hop trash talkers.
Right. So, in essence...
Remember, he fought Antonio Inoki.
But what I'm saying is you never seen Ali you see him go to colleges and talk to those people, you know, the scholars and new scholars of the world. But you never really seen him down at the bookstore or the record store. You know what I'm saying? You got to come. No. You got to see him. You want to see him? You got to see him in the ring.
Yeah.
So nowadays, the reason I'm bringing that up is, well, somebody wanted to see us fight the Nasty Boys, but they see us on pay-per-view.
Right.
Like you said, you see us talking shit to each other up until that pay-per-view.
Right.
And in some cases, if y'all do interact, one of y'all kicking each other ass, and you want to see that person get that payback on the pay-per-view.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
There you go. You never let it in.
Exactly.
And that's all part of character development, and I think that's the main thing that's missing. Because that's why, you got a point where you said it's hard to basically for WWE to make sense of things and better what they've already done in the past. But for us looking at it on the outside, outside looking in, it just seems so simple. It's like certain things is come on, you really can't. Are you telling me you're gonna do this? And we just see something completely different 2 weeks ago, and we're supposed to forget about that. It's type of shit like that.
Well, I say, it's so much to do. You got, in a month's time, you running 8 live shows, 5 hours each. I mean,
That's
5 hours together.
That's a lie.
That's 20 hours of wrestling in a month's time.
Yeah.
Live. And then you're talking about
but
the
I've heard plenty wrestlers said that when it comes to Monday Night Raw, a lot of them don't even know what they're doing for that day, for that night.
You don't. It's hard writing a script week to week like that. That's hard, bro. And that's
week
why
to week with no off season.
The product can suffer, but at the end of the day, nobody really knows the product is suffering because the product has no competition.
That's true. If they're the only game in town, then
right, because they're still most people don't really know what they're watching anyway, so they're still gonna watch. They don't look at it in a lot of ways the way someone like myself would, because I'm looking at it from we
see it. We definitely see that as suffering. We definitely see that as suffering.
But it has no competition. So when you do suffer, you know what I'm saying, you get a pass. It ain't like when suffering
because he's still making that average quota. Vince is still making that average quota, so he's satisfied with that. He's getting his 3.5 the most, you can say.
Right.
On the rating scale.
That's why competition is good. Competition is always good. That's America. Competition. That's like when I was talking about Floyd Mayweather. Competition. It's always good. It'll always flourish. And it'll always, whatever sport that may be or whatever entertainment that may be, makes it better. If the OJs go out before the Temptations and they rock the house, the Temptations going to say, shit, we better step it up a notch. If Nas goes out before Jay-Z, you dig what I'm saying? And he rocks the house. And Jay-Z don't want these people going, damn, Nas was better than Jay-Z. You see what I'm saying?
Jay-Z got to follow it up.
Competition is good because you know what it does? It makes you better. And it makes the product better. And it makes the industry better.
That's true.
I know a lot of people don't look at it like that because they're just consumers. And if you're just a consumer, you don't even know anything about the other side. And you don't really care. You just want to be entertained.
But it's always good to have a diverse market.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Huh?
It's always great to have a diverse market in terms of options for people.
There you go.
Know, competitors pushing each other to make them each better.
There you go. Because if you don't,
heavy gems
the
right
product
there.
starts to suffer. The product starts to suffer, and people will start to find somewhere else to spend their money.
That's
and
true.
This is why I got on the radio and told people Floyd Mayweather hurt the business more than he helped the business because you turned people off. Once you turn people off, I work hard for my money. They say you got paid $200 million to fight Pacquiao. I lost the fucking $100 million because you didn't do shit.
True that.
So for the next guy to come up and be the next pay-per-view guy, I ain't fucking paying for this motherfucker. He might try to get me like Mayweather them did. You see what I'm saying?
Finesse him.
That's how the human mind works.
That's that finesse game right there.
That's how the human mind works.
Man. I don't care what nobody say. Mayweather is a smart businessman. He's undefeated. He made his money, and his brain is not mashed potatoes.
Good for him.
He's a smart businessman.
Good for him.
Good. He said it's good for him, but bad for in terms of the
boxing
sport
business.
of boxing.
Because now the other parts of the boxing business, those guys will suffer. In essence, you look from the business that was. In essence, that's what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about the wrestling business. I will never take from this business because it's been good for me and not give back to it.
He
so
tried to give us Adrian Broner.
So when Jesus Christ, let's take that for instance. When Jesus Christ talked to all of his disciples, what did he tell them to do? Did he say just take, or did he say give?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Adrian Broner, he got
Jesus Christ was always given. Jesus Christ didn't take anything.
Because I'm here to spread the word of my Father. Don't worship me, worship God.
That's what it is.
So whether this man's mind is scrambled or not, let me ask you this. Would he be in the position that he would be in today, unscrambled mind and fat pockets, if it wasn't other people have died, making it what it is?
Rest in peace to a lot of them over the years. Johnny Tapia, Jimmy Garcia.
No. I'm talking about my man that was saying his mind ain't scrambled. He got a lot of money in his bank.
Yeah, Sandman. That's my name. That's my name.
Huh?
You talking about?
No, I'm saying my name is Sandman.
Yeah.
No relation to the wrestler.
Well, I ain't gonna get on the Sandman, but anyway, the other Sandman, not the real Sandman, but the other Sandman.
Yeah, no relation to the wrestler.
What I'm saying is this business was here 100 years before you got here.
That's true.
Did you take it to another level, or did you just take from it? I promise you right now, and I know a lot of people in the boxing business right here in town that train people, and that about the Charlo brothers, they live here. They train here. One of them got a gym right down the street from my house. They'll never say this in public, and I ain't talking about them per se, but people in the boxing business, period. They will never say this in public, but most people in the boxing business will tell you they're glad Floyd Mayweather is gone.
I believe it.
Because he did nothing to he did nothing to help the business. But people that don't know anything about business and that don't know anything about sports as to what sports come from and why sports, just like the Olympics, It was formed
competition
for people, yes.
And it's the best of the best.
It has become. It used to just be a bragging thing, and then it became okay. Let's pay them. But at the end of the day, no business flourishes unless you have competition. That's why they changed all the rules in the NFL to make it easy for a quarterback to be a fucking Tom Brady.
That's true.
Or Peyton Manning.
And a receiver to catch the ball.
But check this out, guys. Hold on, Stevie Ray. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do gotta go. I gotta take care of a few things and all that, and then I gotta get ready for the Royal Rumble and stuff. Yo, Stevie Ray, it was awesome having you here, chopping it up on Off the Cuff Radio. Yo, I'm definitely gonna check out the podcast. It's when I get the chance.
Yeah, I gotta go get ready myself, man. I appreciate you guys, man. We're going to do it again, man.
Definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Hopefully, hey, tell Booker, man. Tell Booker what's up. Like, have the Harlem Heat on the show, man. Why not? Like, ask Booker what's up, man.
I don't know if he's, I don't know if they, because he's under contract with WWE. I don't know if he's
I know.
Yeah. I don't know if he's doing his own.
We won't say nothing about WWE. We're not gonna talk shit about Vince or nothing.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I don't know if he set his own stuff up or somebody up there set him up to be on other shows. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's different that way with certain wrestlers.
Yeah, I know.
Entertainment business, period.
Right.
I definitely know. I definitely know.
Yeah, they won't have you on certain shows.
Right.
Unless it's beneficial there, and because they don't want the possible risk of the product that they work for or they're promoting to be put down.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I don't know on that end. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hey man, I appreciate everything. Hey man, I had a blast, brother. And
spread the word. Yo, spread the word. Stevie Ray, Off the Cuff Radio.
I put it on I put it on my Twitter and I put it on my Facebook. So you was out there.
Definitely, brother.
Thank you so much.
All right, dog. I'll get back with y'all later, man. Peace.
Okay, peace.
All right, Stevie Ray. Take it easy.
Yeah, I'm about to sign up out of here too. I want my $9.99. My $9.99 a week check from Vince. So plug in the network. Check out the Royal Rumble tonight. Pay that $9.99.
Check out the Royal Rumble tonight, but before you check out the Royal Rumble, for you diehard wrestling fans out there, please make sure you check out NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. That was from last night. Awesome pay-per-view.
Crazy pay-per-view. And I'm hard to impress.
For you diehard wrestling fans out there, please watch that. You will definitely get your wrestling fix.
Definitely. And I put the stamp on it, too, and I'm very hard to impress. That shit was lit. So with that being said...
Before we sign out, who you think is going to win the Rumble?
Let's see who we got in there. You know what, though? To really mess with the people, I want to see John Cena win it heavy, just to see how people get mad. I want just to see how to make Darnell mad.
Fuck
just
you. That's some bullshit. I'm definitely not trying to hear that. Like, you say John Cena, I might as well say Roman Reigns. Like, shit.
but
hell no.
Well, I want to see, though, in terms of me personally, it's time for Nakamura to get that shine now. It's that time.
Ooh.
They got a superstar in that man right there. It's time to give him that next level platform.
Okay. So you can have that Styles and Nakamura match if Styles wins tonight in his match for WrestleMania.
It's what the people want to see.
Okay, that's a good one. Cause I thought of Nakamura also. I'm not even gonna lie. I also thought about this too. Like, what would be a pretty good storyline? Cause this dude Dolph Ziggler basically relinquish the U.S. title? What if he was to come back and then just win the Royal Rumble? And it'll be AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania.
I like that. That sounds dope. That sounds really dope right there.
Hell yeah.
And the only thing that's playing a keto is the heavyweight title match. Like if Brock or Strowman, because we know Kane ain't winning nothing. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to put that out there right now.
Yeah, he's the one that's going to get pinned. We all know he's the one that's going to get pinned. And most likely, Brock is going to pin Kane tonight.
Because they got to protect Strowman. Now, unless they're going to probably do some weak shit, and they're going to probably have Big Show come out there. What I want to really see, I want to see the Mark Henry bring the Hall of Pain back and just wreck shop on all three of them dudes. Just for one more run. But he said he had more left in the tank.
Hey, that's what it is.
He did promise he's going to do something, so who knows? You know, we're on the road to WrestleMania. Anything can happen. Hopefully something exciting happens. And I know Vince McMahon is sitting back watching TakeOver like, you son of a bitch, talking to Triple H. Like, I got to top this shit. That's what I love about TakeOver, because it makes Vince step his game up. It's like when we had the Survivor Series shit and War Games. When War Games was crazy.
War Games really fucked it up for him.
Yeah, when they had War Games, Vince was like, nah, that's what made them switch up the whole Survivor Series card. You know what I'm saying? NXT is so healthy for the show, for WWE, period. You know, because it makes Vince step it up, because Vince knows what time it is. NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown. It's like that's his own little personal competition.
Right.
Now, who's going to be... Now, I'm trying to think. For the Royal Rumble, and of course, I'm going to get on the females, too, before we get shooted out of here. I want to know who's going to be number 30 this year. They can't drop the ball on number 30. They've been dropping the ball on number 30 for the past 5 years now.
There might be Ronda Rousey. I won't be surprised if it's Ronda Rousey coming number 30.
It is.
They've been dropping the ball with them for the past 5.
Yeah, but Ronda Rousey was saying that she's not going to be able to make it to Philly because she's shooting the movie. But, you know, a lot of people say shit like that, and, you know, they'll still end up showing up, you know, because they can't give too much away.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Ronda Rousey shows up as number 30.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole China
should win that Rumble? Who I think should win that Rumble is Asuka. If Asuka doesn't win that Rumble, that shit was a waste. Period. No other bitch should win that Rumble but Asuka.
Asuka got that Goldberg push, so you know she's gonna probably win it, most likely.
Word, like yo, T-Mac, like this chick, she's Japanese or Chinese or whatever. She's
nice like that?
never. Yes, she held the women's title in NXT for over 500 days.
I mean, you know, in Japan, they take it serious, so she went through a lot.
And she raw.
So,
yeah, like she doesn't play no game. She never lost. She's undefeated all this time.
And it'll be good to tap into that Asian market, too, to give her that push.
Her and Nakamura might win it tonight to get that Asian bread.
There you go. That's what they need to do. Nakamura should win the Rumble, and Asuka definitely better win the female Royal Rumble. And, you know, T-Max, this is the first time WWE's ever doing this, like a female Royal Rumble. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's an exciting night. It could have been more exciting if they would have built towards it much better, because the build-up towards the Royal Rumble has been fucking pathetic.
Right.
Yeah, nobody in the streets was buzzing about it.
But you know, like if you look at the card, you look at the card from top to bottom. The card looks interesting.
I mean, they've had enough time to plan it, so I think they're going to try to deliver this show.
They better. Or NXT got the one up the ship on them again. They kicking their ass, man. And I don't even know half of the characters there until I started. But then I started watching it, and I'm like, I done got invested to it. Just like this Aleister Black, Adam Cole match. I'm gonna call him A Cole. Like J. Cole. A Cole. That's his name right there.
A. Cole? Yeah,
dude, that was like the restoring the feeling. That's like old ECW right there.
Yeah. Like, this shit was awesome, man. Like, then you had EC3 in the crowd. It was a really good thing.
Then you had the chick, Amber Moon, and what's that
yeah,
chick, what's her name?
Shayna Baszler.
Yes, that was a wicked match.
Yo, she twisted this girl arm all over the place. Like, that shit had me cringing like crazy. Like, Ember Moon's arm was fucked.
See, NXT, what I like about NXT brings that aggressive in your face, smash mouth style right there. That's the cue right there, almost like, yo, nigga, you need to get your ass there.
they got that brand and they building it.
Shit, man.
Shit, but yeah, definitely check it out, everybody. You know, NXT Takeover Philly, man. Like, check that shit out. So I'm telling you, T-Max, check that shit out too. Like, you would bug out too. You like, oh my goodness, like what the fuck? Like, these
doing shit that I've never even seen before.
I mean, everything is, you know when they do the fake punches and shit like that. You don't even see that shit. These dudes get elbowed in their face. This dude, Velveteen Dream, was boxing this dude, Cassius Ohno. He was catching him with the boxing. Well, he had the boxing trunks on and everything. But his persona, the Velveteen Dream, his persona is like Ravishing Rick Rude. He's a black guy with an afro or whatever, like. But he acts like Ravishing Rick Rude, like a little bit on that gay flamboyant shit. But when he fights, but when he fights, he is a fucking beast.
Cause at first I seen him the last pay-per-view, I was thinking, who this fruit motherfucker, man? He don't look tough. Then I started seeing how he was getting down. I was like, oh shit.
Remember, this dude was saying that shit too. This dude, Black Power. Black Power was like, oh, come on, man, with this gay stuff. I'm like, yo, that's the thing, though. That's how he catches you off guard. Cause you think this dude's a little gay fruitcake, and then he catches you. Cause this dude, he be boxing motherfuckers. Like, he'll really punch the shit out you, crack you right in the jaw.
Oh Lord.
That's how Goldust was, cause we saw that weirdo flamboyant stuff he was doing, blowing glitter and stuff, and then the Braille ring, he just started popping niggas like, pow.
Yeah.
Like Goldust was fucking niggas up, man. And then he beat Razor, he beat 1, 2, 3 Kid, he beat all the top dogs at that short period. I was like, why the fuck he win?
Won the Intercontinental title. Yeah, man, won the Intercontinental title.
Like, Goldie was no joke, man. He caught us off guard with that weird stuff.
He was gonna win the heavyweight title too, but this dude, I think this dude didn't want to work with him. This dude, Brett.
I don't think the society was ready at that time either.
Now he was ready.
Nah, he was ready, but not society.
For the first open gay champion.
Yeah, because they had to compete against Hogan, because Hogan was the ratings monster at that time, the NWO. So
yeah,
they was like, I don't know if we can put a gay dude up there to compete with Hollywood Hogan in the NWO. They ain't the wisest move.
Yo, you got a point. That's when that's when you got the Stone Colds, Rocks, the Undertakers.
You need some alphas to go against the NWO. That's the way they was looking at it. Triple H's and all them. Before we became the politic Triple H, of course.
Yeah.
Damn, we was able to squeeze out 50 extra minutes up here. Let me find out.
That's a great thing.
I don't know. I'm like, Bob must have gave us some leverage.
Shit, well, let's call it a show though. Fuck it,
Yeah, I don't want to get cut off right quick, but I'm gonna definitely put all this on YouTube and everything so people could enjoy. SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Y'all know the regular.
Definitely.
And we're going to also have the show with Nutso up, too, so y'all be patient.
Yeah, definitely, man. And then for those out there that want to jump in the hot seat, let us know, man.
Okay. I'm also going to post up more hot seat clips so y'all can get familiar with what y'all getting into. Niggas get signed off just spitting off the hot seat. We can vouch for that.
Hell yeah.
So, y'all can't get Michael Jackson shot behind this booth, nigga.
We got to start getting more legends in the hot seat, though. Like, when we have some legends on the show, we got to throw them in the hot seat.
Man, I can understand them guys. They kind of like don't want to give the game out too much because they want to keep it exclusive, but shit. We trying to eat, damn it. I ain't trying to hear all that.
Exactly. Like, give us a little something. Be like, if you a legend of rapping, you gotta give us something.
Oh, they're gonna get it all right. We're gonna get it from them. But let me get up out of here though, because I don't know when this thing gonna cut off. We want to cut off on a positive note. Big shout out to Stevie Ray.
Definitely.
He
Make
went
sure you
overboard
check out
on his own
Reality
show.
of Wrestling. Yeah, man. Make sure you check out Reality of Wrestling. Check out his podcast on Title Match. What was it? What was the name of his show again?
Stand Up for Greatness.
Stand Up for Greatness. It's on iTunes. It's on YouTube. He's about to go live in a couple of minutes too, I think.
I'm about to
so
check
make
that
sure
out.
you check that shit out. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna talk about wrestling and everything, and he's gonna get ready for the Royal Rumble himself. Shots go out to Da Vinci. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you check out their clothing right on the Instagram.
Make sure y'all wrap up in that Da Vinci clothing while y'all watching the Rumble, and don't spill none of that barbecue sauce from the wings on there either. You ain't getting no refund.
You know what I'm saying? And they definitely got clothing for females too. So y'all ladies out there, y'all check it out. They got some nice, sexy clothing for you ladies out there. Make y'all feel sexy and comfortable.
Hey.
Word. So on that note, I'm about to get up out of here. Check out that World Rumble. Big shout out to everybody
NXT Takeover.
And NXT Takeover, definitely. Check that out first before the Rumble. Get you soup for the night.
Definitely.
So Sandman, send us out of here.
Peace out, motherfucker.